काला काला आसमां है, बादल भी मैला है, घुटता है दम यहाँ जो धुआं धुआं फैला है। बादल भी मैला है, घुटता है दम यहाँ जो धुआं धुआं फैला है। फैक्ट्री हो, केमिकल हो, चूल्हा हो या कार हो, पोल्यूशन की मार से बच्चे क्यों बीमार हो।
Hello, Manju madam. Hello, Manju ma'am.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you can hear me. I can also hear you.
Yeah, I can see Raman sir. Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sir, I'm Manju this side. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are very much audible.
Achha. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Hello, Manju. Hi.
Yes, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Yes, sir. Nice to see you, sir.
Yeah, nice meeting. Good,
Yes.
good that.
Yes.
Good. You are fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah, sir. It's going on. Life is
Okay.
going on. Yeah, I'm fine.
Very
sir.
good, very good, very good. So online classes only.
Yeah, we have online classes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Too many classes, sir. We have too many classes.
Okay, okay.
So,
Okay.
even today I have taken PhD classes. So everything is fine at home?
Yeah, everything is fine. Everything
Yes,
is fine.
yes. Yes, sir. That's this in pandemic situation is very bad, sir.
Everybody had to be careful.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think 2 house down, flat down, there is 4 people who have this COVID.
Okay, okay.
Today only we came to know, so it has become a containment area. Like we can't use our chair.
But JNU is always containment because every time some 12 people, 8 people, it shows RO cases.
Yes, yes.
Always
Yes.
containment shown. I don't know.
Yeah, always containment. We also had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases. 5. The flats had this.
Okay,
COVID.
okay. It's very difficult situation now.
Very difficult situation. Sir.
Good, good, good.
I think everybody is joining.
Yes, yes, like this. ठीक है ये कैसे नहीं लगा
हवाने दे ताज़ी हवाने दे थोड़ी हवाने दे ताज़ी हवाने दे
चलेगा पहले बता दे
आसमां है बादल भी मैला है घुटता है दम यहाँ जो धुआं धुआं फैला है
इतना चेंज चल रहा है घूम कर है उन्होंने
घुटता है दम यहाँ जो धुआं धुआं फैला है फैक्ट्री हो केमिकल हो चूल्हा हो या कार हो पोल्यूशन की मार से बच्चे क्यों बीमार हो
पहला मतलब फोन की जरूरत पड़ सकती है
हवाने दे ताज़ी हवाने दे थोड़ी हवाने दे ताज़ी हवाने दे तू यहाँ वहाँ कचरा चलाता है वक्त का काला बादल आसमां में छाता है धुआं फैला के तू खुशियाँ मनाता है फसलें कटी खेतों में आग क्यों लगाता है
फोन पे
जरा हवाने दे
पैदा होती हरे हरे ट्री में कुदरती में हमको उसका मोल नहीं है जो भी हमें मिले इसी में
मत घूम तू ऐसे हाईवे हवाओं को भर में जिंदगी
आवाज इसकी अलग ही
हड़बड़ी में चल
वीडियो कॉल
हवाने दे
ये लोग तो ठीक अब आपको पूरा चार
चिड़ियों को पंछियों को आसमां में आने दे नए नए पेड़ों पे उन्हें घोंसले बनाने दे
ट्रैफिक में अटकी सांसों को घर उनके जाने दे शहर की मौत ना दे तो जीने के थोड़ी हवाने दे ताज़ी हवाने दे थोड़ी
ताज़ी हवाएं दे थोड़ी हवाएं दे ताज़ी हवाएं दे
चल हवा आने दे
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Professor Hitesh Solanki here, Head Environment Science, Gujarat University.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to all. Dr. Mahapatra here from IMD.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Mahapatra ji, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you, sir. After becoming,
Yes.
congratulations. Also, we had not met after that. It's great.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Pramod ji, कैसे हैं?
नमस्कार सर, बढ़िया बढ़िया आनंद भाई, बढ़िया.
Great, nice to see you.
थैंक यू, so नाइस ऑफ यू.
Thank you for the opportunity.
मैंने देखा था कि आप आ रहे हो, तो मैं सोचा कि आज आनंद जी को सुनेंगे.
Wild card entry हो गया है.
कोई बात नहीं सर, we are fortunate to have you.
Thank you.
हेलो प्रमोद जी.
सर
Hello.
हेलो
Yeah,
आनंद शर्मा जी.
Good afternoon, Ramanathan ji. How are you?
उमेश कुशेस्त्रा जी, सब लोग ठीक है?
Great.
बढ़िया सर. रामा.
कैसे हो?
बढ़िया रामा, बढ़िया.
बढ़िया, ठीक है. मैंने सोचा सुनेंगे आप लोग का.
हाँ, बढ़िया.
Great. So I think time.
समय तो हो गया है.
जी समय हो
Good
गया.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
प्रिया मंजू, कैसे ठीक हो?
ठीक हूँ, sir. ठीक हूँ, sir.
राणा प्रताप जी भी हैं, मैं देख रहा हूँ उन्हें. लगता है बिजी हैं पढ़ने में कुछ.
होस्ट कहाँ है सब? हाँ, विनोद जी तो आ ही गए हैं. विनोद जी नमस्कार.
विनोद जी हैं. नमस्कार. आई थिंक विनोद जी क्या कहते हैं, म्यूट है शायद.
नहीं विनोद, हाँ विनोद जी अनम्यूट कर लीजिए. हाँ ठीक
हो गया.
हाँ, गुड.
हाँ, सुन पा रहे हैं आप.
अच्छा.
हेलो एवरीबॉडी. प्रमोद जी दिखाई दे रहे हैं.
सर,
कैसे हैं?
सर बढ़िया सर.
नमस्ते. चलिए, एटलीस्ट आप लोगों की ये पहले कई बार बात होती थी, आज SES का एलुमनाई मंच है और प्रमोद जी उसके लीडर हैं. अच्छी बात है. और मैं कहीं ना कहीं फील तो करता था एज ए टीम कि कहीं से प्रेशर आ रहा है.
नहीं, अच्छी बात है कि STS ने और राज ने दोनों मिलकर अच्छा इनिशिएटिव लिया. इट्स अ गुड इनिशिएटिव.
बहुत अच्छा है.
Namaste, sir. Chandar this side.
Chandar, hello. How are you? You are coordinator. Thank you, Chandar.
Sir, just started thinking in this direction, so we thought
बहुत बढ़िया.
let's do something.
बहुत बढ़िया. It's a very good initiative. मेरी बात हो रही थी किससे? धीरज.
हाँ.
So
दीदी नमस्कार. सर नमस्कार.
नमस्कार भाई. चंदर, धीरज, संजर, सब लोग नमस्कार.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Hello, Chandar.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Dheeraj.
आनंद सर नमस्कार.
नमस्कार धीरज जी. नमस्कार.
Good afternoon, everybody. Some now year 65, maybe Facebook or other places. Lot of
आ जाएंगे सब.
आ जाएंगे.
मृत्युंजय सर आ गए क्या? I think Mrityunjay sir is there. Anand sir?
I have no idea because I am at my home. So, but then he knows it, and in fact, yesterday night only he called me, So we have already given wide coverage to this in our social media. I'm the head social media as well, so I have given in all my WhatsApp group, our Twitter account, Facebook, everywhere we have shared this.
Oh,
Of
very
course, not
good.
the latest version, yesterday's version.
Oh, ah,
sir.
Hope he will be there.
Anand sir is our alumnus from SES. He is now the Additional Director General of IMD.
he's from SES. I see. Very nice.
Pramod sir is also here. Our registrar sir.
प्रमोद सर तो पता ही है, सब जानते हैं SES से। हम तो वैसे ही डमी चेयर पे बैठे हैं, SES तो प्रमोद सर।
नहीं सर, ऐसे मत बोलिए सर।
नहीं, इट्स गुड। मैं तो कहता हूँ कि इस तरह की मीटिंग फोरम जरूरी है, और इसको आप लोग बड़ी एक्टिवली कर रहे हो, जो बहुत अच्छा है। इनफैक्ट मेरे दिमाग में ऐसा कोई एलुमनाई का कुछ नहीं था, बट आई हैव स्टार्टेड वेरी सिमिलर टाइप फॉर स्टूडेंट वेलफेयर, और वो बाय चांस मैच करता है कि आप लोग भी एक्टिविटीज में आगे।
आवाज किसी की नहीं आ रही है।
Both need to join, sir. Alumni and current students both need to join together.
Indeed.
Yes.
किसी के उधर जो बोल रहे हो।
Actually, I am not alumni, or I am not student.
But you are the.
But I got a link from somewhere from my group. I think, and I see the topics very interesting. So
Yes, good. So you are most welcome.
Join here. I am working as a professor and have.
Where, sir? Where?
I am from Gujarat University, heading Environment Science Department, and professor of botany.
Very good.
It's an era of associations and conjunctions. Manju Didi, let's start.
Let's start. I can see 68 participants. So all are there, so that we can.
Let's start.
Chandar is there. You are there. Vinod Kumar.
Yeah, everybody's there. Did you start?
No. Okay, fine. Yes, I, Dr. Manju Rawat, welcome you all on behalf of Alumni Association of JNU and of Environmental Science Alumni Association. This is today's webinar on very important issue, that is, and it is a series of Self-Reliant India. It's a 9th in number, and we have covered very important issues of two topics, that is weather and climate services, waste and energy, a way forward. We have a eminent panelists from India with us to enrich our knowledge and experience on these two issues. So without taking much time, you all, and ask Dr. Chandar Kumar Singh to continue reason for this particular webinar. Thank you to everyone.
Well, thanks a lot, ma'am, and I'm happy that we have been able to initiate this thing on, say, considering the alumni of School of Environmental Sciences, JNU. So probably this is something we have started with support of our senior colleagues as well. So, well, just to start with, I would welcome you all on behalf of Alumni Association of JNU and Alumni Association of School of Environmental Sciences, JNU. This is kind of first in the league the talk about where the involvement of SES is there. So the plan is to continue this series of webinars or lectures for a longer duration, wherein we have a kind of good network of colleagues, professionals, as well as students. So the only idea is so that everyone gets benefited out of these kind of activities that are supposed to be conducted or are in offing. So I'll not take much time because we have already running late. So I'll ask Dr. Dheeraj to please take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandraji. Namaskar to you all and a very warm welcome and my heartfelt gratitude to all friends, eminent guests and respected people associated with this national webinar. Our JNU, as you all are aware, is the official alumni association of JNU and will always remain proud to be representing our JNU's 80,000 plus alumni network spread across the globe and contributing to the society in their own ways for the overall betterment in all fields, be it environment, safety, disaster management, health, social outreach, and many more. Today, we all have gathered as Alumni Association of JNU, along with School of Environmental Sciences, Special Center for Disaster Management Research, IDC Foundation, and GRC India has organized this webinar on two very important subjects, which are weather and climate services for self-reliant India, and second part is waste to wealth, way forward for self-reliant India. My humble thanks to other important speakers and members present today. Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra ji, Director General of Meteorology, Indian Meteorological Department, Government of India, Dr. Pramod Kumar ji, Registrar JNU, Professor Umesh Kulshrestha ji, Dean, School of Environmental Science, JNU, Dr. Anand Sharma ji, Additional Director General, IMD, he is our alumnus also, Professor Manoj Datta ji, Solid Waste Management Expert from IIT Delhi, Professor Rana Pratap Singh is the Dean, Baba Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow, and Chairman of State Environment Impact Assessment Authority, Government of UP. Ms. Survi Tomar ji, National Prachar Pramukh, Paryavaran Sanrakshan Gatividi. Mr. Imtiaz Ali ji, he is the renowned Waste to Wealth implementer. Apart from the above eminent personalities, we have the following members as well amongst us for taking this webinar forward. Professor E.L. Ramanathan ji, he is in School of Environmental Sciences, JNU. Dr. Manju Rawat Ranjan ji, she is our moderator for this program. Dr. Deep Narayan Pandey ji from Special Center for Disaster Research, JNU, and the core team of AAJ. I, Dr. Dheeraj Singh, representing AAJ as General Secretary, would like to tell you that our JNU has not only made their alma mater proud with their accomplishments, but also have been influential and have done immense contributions in all spheres of life, be it research and development, science and technology, administration, industries, humanities, policy, political leadership, philanthropy, and many more over the last 5 decades. School of Environmental Sciences, JNU, was established in the year 1974, and indeed SES was the first to start MSc MPhil program in environmental sciences in our country. SES, since its inception until date, has been associated with various intellectuals, researchers, environmentalists, etc. And we believe that this school has got enough of potential. Special Center for Disaster Research, the academic environment at JNU is already multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary at every center, but Special Center for Disaster Research is transdisciplinary in nature. Transdisciplinarity suggests that the nature of research would not be confined to strict parent disciplines of social sciences or natural sciences, but transcend their boundaries and limitations to absorb both the scientific findings which provoke decision making and social sciences sensitivities to decipher and direct these findings to communities and institutions of decision making. IDC Foundation is an autonomous national level non-profit organization which focuses on community development initiatives to fulfill manifold objectives in the areas of rural development, management services, IT, and environment-related issues, including R&D. Also, as the Managing Director of GRC India, an environmental consultancy organization, our ultimate objective has always been making the environment sustainable and promote way forward for sustainable development under the self-reliant individual movement by our Honorable Prime Minister of India. We hope that today's webinar would again be a learning experience for all associated guests and members. Both the topics, have enough potential and scope that people can relate to them in real life and work accordingly to achieve the onerous goal. I can only say that all the organizations associated today has huge capacity and zeal, and they can come up with new effective ideas, solution, and way forward on both the topics of concern today. Now the time is running out, and it is the time to implement, and all our scientists and researchers have to be on their toes, keeping in mind both the above topics. Our aim should be to bring it from lab to land as per the clarion call of our Honorable Prime Minister. The crucial time has now come to show our concerted efforts, and we can take all the initiatives and work proactively with an action plan to achieve the desired outcome. To conclude, I can say that in the today times, being self-reliant is the need of the hour, and also rightly quoted by Swami Vivekananda ji that all power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in yourself, stand up and express the divinity within you. Thank you, everyone. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Dr. Manju Rao.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm handing over to Dr. Manju Rao ji.
Now, I request Dr. Vinod Kumar Singh ji from AAJ to address us. Hello.
Welcome. I'm Vinod Kumar Singh, Vice President, Alumni Association of JNU. My predecessor, Dheeraj ji, has given a very wide coverage of the activities of ours and JNU and activities of different organizations. Our subject, the topic of webinar is very, very relevant, and weather and climate services, self-reliant India, and then waste to wealth, way forward. These are very relevant topic, and they are very, very useful to extend our knowledge. We need to expand our knowledge in this. And since my predecessor Dheeraj in a wide description, a vivid account of all the activities, so I would just like to welcome all, give my thanks, and request the convener of the webinar to go ahead with the activities, and I will be liking to be a listener. And with this, I finish my speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I'll invite our registrar, Dr. Vinod Pramod ji, for the inauguration. And also quite famous in JNU for his. Thank you, sir. Please, sir.
नमस्कार। आज के इस वेबिनार में उपस्थित माननीय मृत्युंजय महापात्रा जी, हमारे हमारे कोर्ट के मेंबर आदरणीय इम्तियाज अली जी, हमारे एसीएस के पुराने साथी और एसीएस के डीन, और रामा, और मैं साथ में यहाँ पर एसके त्यागी को भी देख रहा हूँ। एसके त्यागी के साथ हमें काम करने का मौका मिला है। हम उनके साथ सेंट्रल पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड में हमने कुछ समय तक काम किया है, और इस वेबिनार में जुड़े हुए सारे वैज्ञानिक एवं छात्रगण, आज के दोनों ही टॉपिक, वेदर एंड क्लाइमेट सर्विसेज और वेस्ट टू वेल्थ, दोनों ही काफी सामयिक विषय हैं। इन्वायरमेंटलिस्ट होने के नाते या इन्वायरमेंट साइंटिस्ट होने के नाते कहने में बड़ा डर लगता है कि वेस्ट क्या है। एज एन इन्वायरमेंटलिस्ट वी कैन नॉट से दिस इज द वेस्ट, क्योंकि हम इकोलॉजी पढ़ते हैं और हम जानते हैं कि हर चीज एक दूसरे पर डिपेंडेंट है, वो सब एक दूसरे के साइकिल में आते हैं। हमारे लिए वेस्ट तो कुछ नहीं। वेस्ट हमारे लिए एक रॉ मटेरियल है। अब उस रॉ मटेरियल को हम किस प्रोडक्ट में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, ये हमारी जिम्मेवारी है। तो ये काफ़ी बढ़िया टॉपिक है। इम्तियाज़ अली जी ने इसमें बहुत बढ़िया काम किया है। और वेस्ट का क्या बेस्ट यूज हो सकता है, जिसको हम सो कॉल्ड वेस्ट, अगेन आई एम सेइंग सो कॉल्ड वेस्ट का बेस्ट क्या यूज हो सकता है, इसके ऊपर हम लोग चर्चा करेंगे और इम्तियाज़ अली जी के एक्सपीरियंस को भी जानेंगे। क्लाइमेट हम सब जानते हैं, हर किसी भी जगह का जो क्लाइमेट है, वहाँ का लिथोस्फीयर, हाइड्रोस्फीयर, एटमॉस्फेयर का इनकमिंग सोलर रेडिएशन के साथ क्या इंटरेक्शन है, उसके बेसिस पर हम एक जगह के क्लाइमेट को डिसाइड करते हैं। लेकिन हमारे कुछ एंथ्रोपोजेन, तो पिछले कई सदियों से इनके बीच में एक समानता है। लेकिन हमारे कुछ एंथ्रोपोजेनिक एक्टिविटीज़ ने हमारे जो एटमॉस्फेयर में जो अवयव हैं, हमारे एटमॉस्फेयर के जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट हैं, उनका जो कंपोजिशन था उसको कहीं ना कहीं चेंज कर दिया है। कंपोजिशन के चेंज होने से उनका जो इंसोलेशन के साथ, इनकमिंग सोलर रेडिएशन के साथ जो उनका इंटरेक्शन था, वो इंटरेक्शन बदल गया है। उसके बदलने से हमारे क्लाइमेटिक चेंज हुए हैं। और क्लाइमेटिक चेंज होने से क्या क्या खतरा होंगे और क्या क्या खतरा हो रही है, इसको हम सब महसूस करते हैं। तो इसमें हमारा जो क्लाइमेट एंड वेदर सर्विसेज है, इसका रोल बहुत बढ़ गया है। एक दो उदाहरण दूंगा। हमारे यहाँ जो रेन का पैटर्न है, आप लोग देखेंगे जो पिछले हमारे यहाँ रेन के पैटर्न को नक्षत्र के हिसाब से बताया गया है, किस नक्षत्र में कैसी बारिश होगी। और नक्षत्रों में बारिश का जो मूल्यांकन हुआ है, वो सदियों, हजारों वर्षों के अनुभव के बाद वो बताया गया है कि किस समय किस पैटर्न की बारिश होगी। एक उदाहरण ले तो अभी जो नक्षत्र चल रहा है, इसको हथिया नक्षत्र बोलते हैं। इसमें जो बारिश होती है, बड़ी धीरे धीरे बारिश होती है। तो जब बारिश का पैटर्न बहुत धीरे धीरे होता है, तो हमारे बारिश के पानी को इतना मौका मिलता है कि वो धीरे धीरे पर्कुलेट कर जाते हैं। हमारा जो ग्राउंड लेवल है, ग्राउंड लेवल का टेबल है, वो मेंटेन रहता है। आपने देखा होगा किसान क्या करते थे, जब बारिश धीरे धीरे होती है तो बारिश को, पानी को कंजर्व करने के लिए वो कुछ नहीं करते, केवल अपने खेत के मेड़ों को ऊंचा कर देते हैं। क्योंकि बारिश धीरे धीरे होती है तो सारा का सारा पानी वहाँ स्टोर हो जाता है और हमारा ग्राउंड वाटर टेबल जो है वो मेंटेन रहता है। मगर अभी आपने देखा होगा 2-3 दिन पहले जो बारिश का पैटर्न कभी हैदराबाद से कभी मुंबई से दिखाया जा रहा है, तो बारिश का पैटर्न बदल गया है। बारिश पूरा एनुअल एवरेज देखेंगे तो बारिश करीब करीब उतना ही है, लेकिन सारा का सारा बारिश एक ही बार में काफी तेजी से हो जाता है। इसलिए उस बारिश के पानी को स्टॉक करने का हमारे पास कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है। लेकिन हमारे जो किसान हैं, जब आप देखते हैं अभी कृषि बिल भी आया है और गवर्नमेंट की का दबाव है, गवर्नमेंट की इच्छा है कि हम कृषि के क्षेत्र से ज़्यादा धन का उपार्जन करें। क्योंकि यदि गवर्नमेंट आने वाले समय में 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी की बात करती है, तो कहीं ना कहीं उसको कृषि से बहुत ज़्यादा उम्मीद है। और हमारी कृषि जो है पूरे तरीके से हमारे क्लाइमेट पर डिपेंड करती है, वो हमारे रेन पैटर्न पर डिपेंड करती है। तो यदि हम आत्मनिर्भर बनना चाहते हैं, और आत्मनिर्भरता में कृषि का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, और कृषि जो है वो पूरे के पूरे क्लाइमेट पर डिपेंड करती है, तो इसमें हमारे जो क्लाइमेटिक एंड एटमॉस्फेरिक सर्विसेज है, सॉरी वेदर एंड क्लाइमेटिक सर्विसेज है, इनका रोल बनता है। आज के रेन के पैटर्न को देख करके हम किस ढंग की खेती करें? क्या जो हम पहले खेती करते थे, जो पहले खेती का पैटर्न था, क्या आज भी वही होना चाहिए या इसमें कोई परिवर्तन होना चाहिए? इसकी जानकारी हम वेदर एंड क्लाइमेटिक सर्विसेज से ले सकते हैं। दूसरी बात, आप देखेंगे कि पहले जो साइक्लोन वगैरह से डैमेज होते थे, वो बहुत ज़्यादा होता था। उसमें फिजिकल वेल्थ के साथ साथ लाइफ का भी बहुत डैमेज होता था। लेकिन अब हमारे वेदर एंड क्लाइमेटिक सर्विसेज ने काफ़ी अच्छा इम्प्रूव किया है। और जो भी हमारे पास यदि साइक्लोन इनका इंटीमेशन हमें इनके माध्यम से 2-3 दिन पहले मिलता है, सप्ताह भर पहले मिल जाता है। उस केस में हम पूरे तरीके से प्रिपेयर्ड हो जाते हैं। इसलिए हमारा जो डैमेज आज का है जान माल का, वो उतना नहीं है जितना पहले होता था। तो इन सारी चीज़ों को आप ध्यान में लगाए रखेंगे तो आपको लगेगा कि हमारा जो क्लाइमेट एंड हमारा जो वेदर एंड क्लाइमेट सर्विस है, इसकी वैल्यू आज के डेट में इस काफ़ी बड़ी है और इनके ऊपर बहुत ज़बरदस्त रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। यदि ये सर्विसेज सही समय पर सही जगह पहुंचाई गई, तो हम जो ड्रीम करते हैं आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनने का, उसमें हम कामयाब हो सकते हैं। ये आज हम जो भी जितने भी लोग आए हैं, और हमें तो बिल्कुल आज वही मैं देख रहा हूँ, यहाँ पर माननीय मृत्युंजय महापात्रा जी है, हमारे एसीएस के ही एलुमनाई आज एडिशनल डायरेक्टर जनरल हैं वहाँ पर आईएमडी में। ये वो लोग हैं जो इस फील्ड में काम कर रहे हैं। हमारे पास इन्वायरमेंटल साइंटिस्ट हैं, रिसर्चर हैं, हमारे पास इम्तियाज अली की जैसे सोशल एक्टिविस्ट है। तो आज के इस वेबिनार में रूल बनाने वाले, उसको समझने वाले, समझाने वाले और उसको फील्ड में ले जाकर के काम करने वाले, ऐसे सारे लोग एकत्रित हुए। इस वेबिनार के माध्यम से हम बहुत कुछ अचीव कर सकते हैं। मैं आज को और अपने एसीएस के पुराने मित्रों को और एसीएस में अभी काम कर रहे सारे लोगों को इस बात के लिए धन्यवाद देता हूं कि उन्होंने बिल्कुल सामयिक विषय चुना है। और इन्वायरमेंटल साइंस, हमारा जो स्कूल ऑफ इन्वायरमेंटल साइंसेज है, इसने बहुत सारे इन्वायरमेंटल साइंटिस्ट दिए हैं। इसने ऐसे एलुमनाई दिए हैं जो समाज के अन्य अन्य क्षेत्रों में, प्रशासनिक क्षेत्र में, हर क्षेत्र में काम कर रहे हैं। लेकिन हमारे पास इन्वायरमेंटल एक्टिविस्ट जितना देना चाहिए था स्कूल ऑफ इन्वायरमेंटल साइंसेज को, उतना नहीं मिला है। मुझे लगता है इस तरीके का हम कार्यक्रम करेंगे, इस कार्यक्रम से हमें अपने कर्तव्य का बोध का ज्ञान होगा। और जब हमें अपने कर्तव्य बोध पता लगेगा, हमें ये पता लगेगा कि हमें किन किन चीज़ों को समाज के किस वर्ग के पास कब पहुंचाना है। यदि इसकी जानकारी मिलती है तो हम निश्चित रूप से जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाएंगे, ऐसा हमने सोचा है, ठाना है, और निश्चित रूप से हमें इसे हम प्राप्त भी करेंगे। उसमें इस तरीके की वेबिनार्स का ये बहुत ज़बरदस्त योगदान होगा। मैं इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ एक बार फिर जवाहरलाल नेहरू विश्वविद्यालय की तरफ से मैं आज के वेबिनार में आए सारे साइंटिस्टगण का, आज के वक्ताओं का जो अपने विचार को रखेंगे, उनका स्वागत करता हूं और आज को एक बार फिर से धन्यवाद देता हूं। और इस उम्मीद के साथ कि आगे भी आज जो चर्चा होगी, उस चर्चा को उसके मुकाम तक पहुंचाने में हम लोग लगे रहेंगे। इन्हीं चंद शब्दों के साथ अपनी बात को खत्म करता हूं। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
They were very good, and I think we will implement them. We have all the politicians and basically policy makers here, and we can give those suggestions further to the MO and other, so that we can have a very good coordination, and we will work in the field. At the same time, we will draw the policy also for our future. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So now we can start the first session. The first session is on the weather and climate change for the self-reliant India. So we have the first address with the Dean of Environmental Sciences, Professor Umesh Kulcheshta. His research interest is also climate change. He has worked on the atmospheric dust and air pollution. He has 26 years of experience and he has published large number of papers with respect to climate change. So I welcome you to address from us from SES.
So you have to unmute.
Oh,
Yes, now it's
and can I share my slide? You have to, enable me to share.
now you are the presenter. Now you are the
Okay.
presenter. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are you able to see now? Are you able to see?
Sir, it's visible now.
Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy, and this is my basically. I'm fortunate enough to share this basically event opportunity with AAJ when Dr. Dheeraj he asked me. I was very enthusiastically accepted. I was very happy that this kind of event is thought and will be celebrated with SES. I really agreed. So, in fact, in SES, after joining in January, I am also doing very similar type of activities and efforts for the welfare of students. And one of them, I will come to that. But before that, let me formally thank the organizer, Dr. Dheeraj, especially, who brought me to this forum, introduced to this forum. And also, I appreciate the efforts and beginning in collaboration with the SES. In fact, I already assigned the job to do this alumni work and contact people, make list to somebody. But nevertheless, this is another beginning, and probably this will be successful effort from our side. So now, what I will do, I will briefly introduce our activities, and then because it's a meteorology and climate, two things I will share with you. The time is very less, but I will share in short. In the school of environmental sciences, we have not big number, but at least we have very vibrant students, very talented students we have in our school. So I thought of, nowadays what is happening, there are lacunas in the system, especially in terms of sincerity on ST discipline and all these values were to be used to say that I thought of making this education for a purpose, because in between the education policy also was not having the aim of these activities and all these curricular activities, and also the value addition in the education system. The new education policy has brought again the same thing. So what I did, holistic environment, because in component wise we are doing research, as Pramodji rightly said that the nakshatra and all this, it was very wonderful thought what he shared. And what was that 15 days back, same thing I was saying, that according to Indian calendar, rain is still, every weather, rain including, is responding. But as you go with the English calendar, it doesn't match. So that is based on, because experience based thing. So it is not changing still. I will share some thought about that also. What I did under holistic environment program, that program basically we have thought of in providing integrated solution for environment. I will share one example with that. Under that program, it is an outreach program. We have developed, one program for young holistic group, that is YOHO. YOHO is taken from young holistic, YO from young, and HO from holistic. So young holistic program, this program basically is to enhance personality in a holistic manner. For example, physical, psychological, spiritual, all this educational, that development of a student, and then leadership quality development, then management skill development, coordination, intra and inter group development. So it is going on and very well responded by the students also. Those who are very creative, they are really taking interest and arranging the basically these events such as academic network, quiz, debate, kavita pratyogita. All these activities are going on. If possible, I will show you those site also. SES activity site is there. It is given on that site. Then I have introduced after this becoming that young holistic award for final year PhD student. Those who are doing very already environment is interdisciplinary science, but it's still the topic. If it is solving something in a holistic manner, giving integrated solution, that fellow will be given holistic award. And then we have passed this postdoctoral fellowship initiative with the help of private sector. We will introduce some postdoctoral fellowships, and because nowadays is a job and providing opportunity even for talented people is becoming very difficult. So I thought of the postdoctoral fellowship is introduced, and we will work out the logistic of that. Then this SES logo is formally accepted and passed. This logo already there on this page. You can see it's a tree type. Then I have made this list, toppers roll list. Those who are top MSc toppers, they will be put on roll. That brown color, that wooden roll list. Then photo gallery for all deans, we have thought of. We are working on that. We are collecting photographs of different deans already. The frames and all the things are ordered. Then there are long list, small to bigger equipment. We have added, ordered, added to SES CIF. And then one launch for students we have planned already. That order is under process, where Kali period you can sit there other than our visitor room. So this kind of facilities I have thought of, and you can visit whenever you can see. And nowadays it's a pandemic, but due to pandemic it's not possible. But when you come and you can see some of these things, you can see on the website without any problem. And right side is the activities, okay, what we have thought of, this Yoho, quiz, academic teacher, research in the green, weapons, debate, GL, PCIF, editor, yoga, euphoria, phytoaesthetics, enviro excursions. All these things are there, and I think they are becoming very vigorous. Now I would like to share two academic things based on the theme of this webinar. One is I have given a hypothesis, this thing, that in Indo-Gangetic Plain, especially in NCR, we are suffering air pollution, big problem. And then so I have written this article that camel ride push of winds and topography favor the flushing out of air pollution from NCR, Delhi, and in Nagoya Plain. Because we are getting during winter time westerlies, and westerlies they are having low temperature, high moisture, and that comes to Indo-Gangetic Plain, and that the westerly stream, one stream coming from Mediterranean Europe goes to left side China, but right side comes to us, and that hits Himalaya and enter into plain. High speed wind, 200 kilometers they enter. When they enter into plane, they become almost just like 20 kilometer, like the very less wind. So it is bit with calm wind. But again another throw comes, and that pushes that one, and further another throw. So it's a kind of camel ride push, ऊंट पे जैसे बैठते हैं तो एक ढीला सा चला जाता है, then again वो. तो इसकी वजह से, because of this, the pollution in Delhi region, Indo-Gangetic, will not stay more than 8 to 10 days. And that I did I wrote this. After that, immediately we have seen, even based on experience, this is given basically, and scientifically also it's true. More the article you can read in detail. It's given here. It's in current environment, current world environment. It is published. So it's we need not to worry. Even the crop residue burning, we should do. I am part of VPCA. We are putting all efforts to control fire in Haryana, Punjab. But nevertheless, we should not worry. We have got, natural blessings from that angle, that in this area more it won't stagnate, and due to this camel right push. Second thing I have, because we are many times we are saying Delhi pollution, high particulate matter, PM 2.5 and 10. That is because of mostly from natural sources. Because open source, we have a lot of soil dust, soil erosion, then high wind, tropical region. So all these features make a very dusty atmosphere. So dusty atmosphere, you can control, if source is like tailpipe, you can control tailpipe. If source is chimney, you can control chimney, but source is open source. So the control also requires very similar to open source. That is rain. Rain source is only the water bodies, whether it is ocean or lake. So in Delhi, if we have big lake, 5 kilometer, 7 kilometer, like Himal Sagar, Usman Sagar, we have in Hyderabad area, that kind of lakes, then afternoon, a lot of water will be there, water evaporation, and slowly over a period of time, we can have occasional rains. Occasional rains, when they are, then the atmosphere will be clean, because scavenging of particulate matter in the course of particle is very effectively done by rain, that we have reported. So science, chemistry science to meteorology, chemical meteorology based solution. This is called holistic approach. It's, thinking, working element, component wise, but your solution should be holistic. So from that angle, this solution has been suggested. I think the lake solution, Delhi government has started also this. This was long pending, this kind of holistic efforts by government, and I that at least these things are taken care by modern government. There, I would like to share this. Where is this meeting? I don't know where this screen disappear. Yes, it is there. Where is my screen gone? Okay, doesn't matter. I would like to request all of you to see SES activity page. A lot of activities we have done, webinars, and I have invited, alumni, SES, old teachers, deans, students, those who are working. So all with that, I once again welcome all the speakers from AAJ and non-AAJ also, and the students of SES. And I thank once again the organizers who have invited me to share. And I think next time we can have some other event we can plan with SES. I request Dheeraj to think of that. Then further, I'm happy, and I would like to offer any kind of help or any kind of publicity, any kind of platform from school side you require. I'm there to help, and I would like you to help in for us to upgrade in your field, to help any kind of student welfare related things, and also help us to develop SES, to provide long-term programs to SES. I would be very happy to offer, and let us have joint efforts of yours will help uh, SES in global visibility, and also solving societal problem in a holistic manner. With these words, thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir,
Thank
for
you.
introducing the holistic environment, integrated environment in SES JNU. Being an alumni of SES JNU, I was very happy to see all this thing. Thank you very much. Your greater efforts by creating an avenues for doctorate and PG students, and you introduced this academic network Go. That's a very new concept, which I feel as an alumni 10-15 years back. So you are enhancing the personality of a student, leadership, quality development, coordination among different in the SES, and inter and intra group communication. Naturally, all these things are going to help, sir, to the students in a holistic way. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So, thank you, sir. So, I invite now go further with Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra. And after this will be a presentation by Professor Manoj Datta, because he has to go for Udala ritual. So, please bear with us. So, we have to go ahead with second will be a Professor Manoj Datta after Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra. So I invite you, sir, I invite you, Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra ji, I invite you, and you are the Director General, Indian Meteorological Department, Government of India. Sir has an interest area on weather forecasting, cyclone warning, and he has published large number of papers. He has awarded with the many prestigious award. With this, not taking much time, we want to hear from you about the forecast and the how we are managing. We have managed very well Hudhud. We have managed very well Imphal. So that is all I want to hear from you. We all are waiting for your talk. Please, sir, I welcome you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Namaskar to all distinguished delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen, dear Pramod ji, Manju ji, Dheeraj ji. I, at the outset, thank all of you for giving an opportunity to speak on this occasion. And I was told by Dr. Dheeraj to speak about weather and climate services for this Atmanirbhar Bharat. So I will try to present something about the role and responsibilities of India Meteorological Department, Minister of Earth Sciences in this direction. What is the current status and what is the future program? I don't know how much time I will have. Initially, I was thinking that I will have, as for the program, 45 minutes. But you can just tell me in how much time I should conclude.
So you take your time. I mean, half an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Take your time, sir.
Okay. Okay. So if you just look at the declaration by Honorable Prime Minister about Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India, it has got 5 prominent pillars. The first and foremost pillar of Atmanirbhar Bharat is the economy. So we should have an improvement in economic condition of the people or of the country, not in an incremental change, but also as a quantum jump in a certain period. The next pillar is the infrastructure. India should come up with such an infrastructure which is at par with all the leading countries in the world or better than that. At the same time, it should be more or more dependent on ourselves. The system, we should have a system that does not follow the norms of previous century, but also the requirements of 21st century. And when I say that system, it certainly deals with the technology. The technology drives the system, as some of you were telling during your discussion or presentation, that there has been a significant improvement in weather and climate services in recent times. It has been possible because of this system. The early warning system has been technology driven in recent years through the investment by the Government of India. And of course, there should be overall development in a democratic society like India. Democracy is our strength. Democracy is our energy to visualize our dream, to make us self-reliant. At the same time, when we consider the progress or expected progress, we have to take into consideration the demand. The demand supply chain is the power, and we should use it to its full potential, considering the huge population of the country, considering the developing nature of the country, considering the expectations of the growing populations. Therefore, I will say there is a huge demand, and accordingly, there should be a supply. There should be a balance between demand and supply. So I will discuss the weather and climate services provided by Minister of Earth Sciences in India Meteorological Department, considering these 5 pillars. So if you just look at the weather and climate services for self-reliant India through India Meteorological Department, it is the nodal agency in the country to provide the information about the weather and climate, and also to provide the forecast and warning services. Its vision aims at providing observations of forecast for optimum operation of weather sensitive activities. I will tell you, in this current era, there is no such activity which is not dependent on weather or climate. However, we were not able to utilize the information weather and climate due to many reasons, including the fact that earlier this information was not very accurate, not timely, and not usable. But over the period of time, all of you will agree, the information on weather and climate in terms of the current and also in terms of the forecast has improved significantly. And hence it has enabled to enhance the economy in recent years. So we'll see in this presentation how it is helping the economy and how it can help in future. So if you just see the science of meteorology, it is nothing but the prediction of land, atmosphere, and ocean states at different scales to provide weather and climate forecast in different spatial and temporal range. We have a seamless forecast system providing the forecast for a few hours, which is called as nowcast, which is followed by the short range forecast ready for 1 to 2 days, and medium range forecast a few days to 1 week, and extended range forecast up to a month. And also we provide the seasonal forecast for monsoon season, winter season, and the summer season. At the same time, expectations is increasing for the climate scale forecast, and we are also working in that direction. The spatial range, if we just look at, forecast is provided from location specific, sub-city, within the city itself, the block, district, and meteorological subdivisions, river catchment states, and homogeneous regions of the country. Over the past few years, as I was telling you recently, so there has been a qualitative improvement in weather, climate, and ocean services by Minister of Earth Sciences. It has been possible because of the augmentation of the atmospheric observations. It has been possible because of development of adequate modeling strategy. It has been possible because of conducting the cutting-edge research by the ministry and allied research bodies, including the JNU and many research centers. And also there has been a quite a good amount of investment in human resource development to carry out all the above activities. Now I'll just come to the first pillar, that is economy. When you go for saving the economy through the weather and climate services, the first and foremost theme which comes to our mind is the disaster. And all of us know a disaster not only kills people, but also causes a huge amount of loss of property. And our GDP is affected largely by these disasters. And I want to say that 80% of natural disasters are weather and climate related. Therefore, weather and climate information, as Pramodji was telling in his speech, is very crucial to fight with disasters, to not to allow the hazard convert into a disaster. So therefore, we try to provide the information such that no hazard goes undetected and unpredicted. And accurate warnings against the hazards with reasonable lead time, triggering response from disaster managers and public to save life and property. So when you go for the hazard management, it does not depend only on the real-time information about the weather and climate, but also it depends upon the past weather and climate. So that is for hazard assessment. So when you consider disaster management, it basically starts with hazard monitoring and assessment. Then we see that the vulnerability and risk of different regions are well assessed a priori, so that whenever there is a hazard approaching particular coast, as per the past vulnerability, we can have the adequate measures for management. The early warning and mitigation is the most crucial point. There was a survey in South Asia and Southeast Asia. As per survey, it was found that the early warning among the various components of hazard management is crucial in an area where we are socio-economically poor. If you consider South Asia and Southeast Asia, there are many poor countries who cannot afford to change their social and economic infrastructure overnight. So here, the early warning can be changed very easily if you can have some kind of technological investments. And that has been demonstrated by India. IMD took on the modernization program in 2009, and by 2012, we could find that the loss of lives could be minimized. There has been no cyclone during past 10 years when there has been loss of life exceeding 100. Not only in India, but also all the countries in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. So that has been the effect of early warning. We also provide technical support, as I told you, for preparedness, planning, vulnerability analysis, and risk assessment. We also provide support for management of natural resources like agriculture, water resource, energy resource, etc. So if I just look at how do we carry out our early warning system, it is basically the observational system, which is space-based, upper air, and surface-based observations. And these observation systems are very important because this weather forecasting is an initial value problem. If you can detect the initial status of the atmosphere and ocean, you can predict better. So therefore, worldwide, people try to define the initial status of ocean and atmosphere by dense observational network and frequent observations. With the help of these, we identify the weather systems. At the same time, all the weather systems information detected with the sophisticated observational network are digitized, and these digital informations are fed into numerical weather prediction models. And these numerical weather prediction models provide the forecast, and these forecasts are converted into public language that is called as public weather service. It goes in the form of bulletin, it goes in form of graphics, it goes in form of text, and it is helpful for the decision makers, disaster managers, to take the actions. Now, considering the first example, like a cyclone, as you can see, the entire east and west coast is prone for the cyclone activity, especially the east coast is more prone. The red zone, you can see, is the most prone districts. And this zoning was done by IMD as per the requirement of National Disaster Management Authority, and it helps in preparedness, planning, and mitigation measures of government at state level and also central level. We have got a sophisticated observational system to look into and detect it further and provide the information at least 5 days in advance about its genesis, track, intensity, and the expected impact. You will be happy to know that in case of cyclone, we provide detailed impact-based forecast and risk-based warning at the district level to all the disaster managers. So therefore, when the bulletin goes on the cyclone, it is ready-made food, just like a ready-made food. It includes all the information, and they have to take action only. So, if I just put up one example of cyclone Amphan, I think all of you have witnessed this information while we are going for real time during the 16th May to 21st May. On 20th May, cyclone Amphan crossed West Bengal coast over southern Parganas across Sundarbans. And this forecast was issued from 16th May. This track forecast was issued 5 days in advance. You can see that the dark line, that is a black line, is the actual track of the cyclone, and the red line is the forecast track. You can find that there is not much difference between the two lines. That means 5 days in ahead, we can very well predict the location and time of landfall. And also, accordingly, we could provide the heavy rainfall, winds, storm surge, tidal waves, and impact on various types of structures and various types of sectors. And accordingly, government could take all the actions and minimize the loss of lives. it is for your information that Amphan was a super cyclone over the Bay of Bengal, and it was the second super cyclone after 1999. So therefore, it is a huge cyclone. It has the potential to cause devastation. However, government could manage because of this early warning. I'll say you the first information about this cyclone was provided by India Meteorology Department on 7th May in its extended range forecast, 15 days later. But after that, on 13th May, we started giving the information about information of cyclones. So it hasn't possible because of the investment in technology and also many collaborative work between the state government, central government, many media and other non-government agencies, and early warning provider, India Meteorology Department, Minister of Earth Sciences. I will say it is completely Atmanirbhar. The cyclone warning in India is an ideal one to be imbibed by many countries in the world. After the last year's success story of Cyclone Fani, the countries from other part of the world also visited. Prince Charles also visited to acknowledge, and they inquired whether this information is being used by other countries in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. It is, of course, being used. So I want to say that we are completely self-reliant, and also we are helping the other countries. Among all the countries in the Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea are benefited by this development by India Meteorological Department. So you can just see that how the error is decreasing over the years and skill is improving over the years, which has enabled an increase in the confidence of disaster managers and general public. Similarly, if you just look at the heavy rainfall, which is a major reason for the floods during monsoon season, and you will find that we have the accuracy level of about 78%. So on day one, 24 hours before, we can predict the heavy rainfall with an accuracy of 78%. It is a huge gain. If I compare this forecast accuracy 5 days before, the forecast accuracy of day one forecast 5 days before, what was there, that was about 60%. And now day 5 forecast is about 60%. That means now we have been able to provide a net gain of 4 days of lead period to the disaster managers to deal with the heavy rainfall leading to the floods. The flood management is taken care by Central Water Commission. However, information is provided by us to Central Water Commission for flood forecast, but heavy rainfall forecast, flash flooding, etc., are provided by India Meteorological Department. Similarly, if you just look at when we go for cyclone, people demand for impact-based forecast. Similarly, in the heavy rainfall, people also demanded impact-based forecast. So we started providing impact-based forecast from this year, indicating what type of impact will be if there is a heavy rain. We gave the color coding, red indicating action to be taken immediately, the highest priority warning, followed by orange, yellow, and green. At the same time, we indicated what will impact on the various sectors like traffic, like low-lying areas, slums, villages, and other vulnerable regions. And these warnings, like cyclones, are also issued in different stages, like watch, heavy rainfall watch, heavy rainfall alert, heavy rainfall warning, and the updates. So you'll be you can see on the left-hand side, this was, if you remember, there was a flood-like situation, intense flood situation in Dwarka. The city of Dwarka was inundated, and we could predict very well 5 days in advance with this impact-based forecast and risk-based warning. So for the river and flooding, actually, there is a mechanism with Central Water Commission. We jointly work with each other, and at present, we provide warning up to 3 days with an outlook of 4 days. All the river catchments in the country are covered through this joint mechanism of Central Water Commission and India Meteorological Department. It has helped to minimize the losses from the floods. So there is another important area. This is the flash flood guidance. So you might have heard many things like Leh cloudburst or Jammu and Kashmir cloudburst. What happens during monsoon season? There can be immediate downpour, or a few days before, there's Telangana in Hyderabad. Yesterday also at night, there was heavy downpour over Telangana. So these are called as the flash floods. So in a limited time, there will be a huge amount of rainfall, which can cause floods. For this purpose, we introduced a mechanism that is called as flash flood guidance. We are not only providing flash flood guidance for the country, but also for entire South Asia. It includes Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. Under this flash flood guidance, we have identified 30,000 watersheds in the country. For 30,000 watersheds, the information is provided for next 12 hours, whether there will be flash floods or not. And this information is being provided to Central Water Commission to take necessary actions. So another important disaster which affects the country is the thunderstorm, associated squalls, lightning. There was no lightning warning in the country 2 years back. In 2019, we started introducing the lightning warning. Prior to that, of course, we have the thunderstorm warning, thunderstorm warning, but lightning causes the maximum death due to the thunderstorms. We have seen that lightning causes maximum death in the poor, vulnerable communities, especially the farmers, fishermen, those who are out in the field or their livelihood are mostly affected. So what we did actually, we developed the modeling system in-house. Again, it is Atmanirbhar Bharat, and through this, it was an integrated effort by Minister of Earth Sciences, including all the agencies like Indian Institute of Meteorology, National Center for Meteorology and Forecasting, and India Meteorological Department. We introduced the lightning warning, and it has helped the countries in the states like Northeast India to minimize the loss of lives this year. So this is an example. You can find out that this is the actual lightning. That also is another story. Earlier, there was no lightning detection as such because we did not have the lightning detectors. Now, Indian Air Force and Indian Institute of Meteorology, they've come up together to establish the lightning detection system across the country. About 166 lightning detection systems are there. With this lightning detection systems, we are able to detect not only lightning in India, but also Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and other neighboring countries. And these informations are updated every 10 minutes in our website. So this has helped minimize again the loss of lives and property. On the left-hand side, the example of the forecast. You can just imagine how along the east coast, the lightning which is observed is well predicted by the model 1 day in advance. So lightning being a small-scale event, 1 day prediction is sufficient, but that prediction should reach to the last mile. Now the problem is how to reach out the last mile. That is a major issue. If a person is working in the field, paddy field, how will you get the information about the lightning in advance? And even if he gets the information, where will he take rest? Where will he take safe conditions? So these are the challenges we have to tackle in future. So, however, what we did actually, we introduced the nowcasting. Since lightning and thunderstorms are very small event with a period of about 3 hours or half an hour, and they occur only in a village or two. So therefore, it was decided that we should go for nowcasting. That is very short-range forecasting. We provide forecast for next 3 hours for thunderstorm and all associated weather. And you'll be happy to know that we provide this information for all the districts across the country, like 739 districts. And at present, we are providing 894 stations across the country. It includes all the district headquarters and cities and towns. And this number is gradually increasing. If you ask what is the forecast accuracy of these 3 hourly nowcast, it is about 85%. I would say the forecast is accurate, but still there is scope to improve further the 15%. So whatever you see this lightning warning or lightning detection, there is large amount of self-reliance because we are utilizing our INSAT, we are utilizing our radar system, we are utilizing our automated weather stations, and also we are utilizing our computing system and models. Similarly, there is another killer, especially in northern India, that is the heat wave. So heat wave warning also introduced after 2015 disastrous heat wave, which caused the people of thousands. We came up with the forecast of heat wave in different ranges. Like seasonal forecast, we started in 2016, then extended its forecast for next 15 days, then medium range forecast up to 5 days. And heat wave warning accuracy, if you just look at it is in 2020, up to day 3, the forecast accuracy is about 90%, and day 2 is 95%. And therefore, this type of accuracy has helped the state authorities in terms of district and the city municipal corporations to introduce the heat action plan. The heat action plan has been introduced by NDMA collaborative way with IMD and other state government authorities, municipal corporations, and NGOs to tackle this heat wave impacts. And it is a success story that heat wave deaths over India has reduced significantly in recent years. Here, this heat wave also is given in terms of impact-based warning, the different color codes, and expected impact on health and other sectors. Now, if you just look at about the system in place and how it has improved, whether it is self-reliant or not, I just want to say that India Meteorological Department is a very old organization. and it has got many sectors to cater to build up the systems for providing informations. So we are always continuously enhancing and upgrading our system so that it can fulfill the 21st century dreams and it can be technology driven. So this is just an example of the Doppler radar. You can just see that the country is now equipped with 28 Doppler radars in different parts of the country, but still entire country is not covered with radar. So so we are trying for that. You can just see in the right bottom, that is the picture of a cyclone, and others are picture of the radars. So what we want to say that this radar earlier, if you just go, you can find that radar was not available in the country. It was being imported earlier. Then gradually, IMD operated about 40 radars of analog technology manufactured by Bharat Electronics Limited. In 2002, the Doppler radar was not available in India, so 4 radars were imported from Germany. In 2006, the indigenous manufactured Doppler radar was installed at Sriharikota. In 2015, MS Bell came up with the radar in Mumbai and Bhuj. Gradually, ISRO also came up with the radar at Kochi, Gopalpur, Cherrapunji, and Thiruvananthapuram. So I don't want to say that it is a success story of the country where IMD and other knowledge partners like ISRO and various public sectors like Bell, they have come up together to develop the radar systems. And I am sure in future we will be completely self-dependent on radar. You'll be happy to know that now we are establishing 10 expand DWRs over Northwest Himalayas. And all these are self-reliant because it is being developed by Astra Microwave Limited, Hyderabad. ISRO is also developing some solid-state power amplifier, which is being fabricated by Data Pattern Chennai. So this is the success story of how we are progressing. Even though we are not 100% dependent for radar technology, but we have progressed very well in recent years for self-reliance in radar systems. And I'll tell you, radar is one of the most important tool for detection of the severe weather in short range and also to provide the forecast on nowcast. Similarly, if you just look at the upper air observations, India is one of the country which started upper air observations from 1960. And our upper air observations have improved, but there is scope to improve further. So there is a plan up to 2024, number of stations will increase up to 76. And for this upper air observations, if you just look at, this is the instrument for the upper air observations. We release the radio send, that is the sensors along with the balloons. And this sensor detects the observations in the upper atmosphere. And now this is GPS based. It is par with the world. And Samir, the public sector again is developing the GPS based radio send in the country. But still, there are not many companies, and as per the requirement of IMD, there is scope therefore for public-private partnership. In this case, when we can go for mass production of this GPS based radio send for the country. Similarly, if you just look at the future requirements for these indigenous sources, the software requirement for this radio send data can be developed indigenously. So far, the software comes from outside. The data processing of the radar also, again, it can be done within the country, and we are very much dependent sometimes till now over the different countries because of the processing and visualization of the radar data. Data dissemination also is being used through the imported software, which can be also performed indigenously, considering the IT power of the country. Now, coming to the ground, we have got surface observational network, very old, but we have come up with automated weather stations, automated weather gauges. On the right-hand side, you can just find out the pictures of various types of instrumentation IMD utilizes for observations. So all these observations, you'll find that we have got workshop in India Meteorology Department at Pune for the surface instruments, and another workshop in Delhi for upper air instruments. So in-house, we go for development and calibrations and maintenance also. And still, there are certain components or sensors, you can say, which are imported, which needs to be developed in the country. And this is the plan to improve the number of instruments across the country for various purposes. In terms of automated weather stations, automated engages, agrometeorological AWS, automated observing systems for aviation purpose. Similarly, you need the microwave radiometer, wind profiler, heliport, automated weather observing systems, and snow gauge. So among all these, you'll find that about 60 to 70% are available in-house, that is within the country. and remaining partially they are being developed and being imported. Now, if you go for the 21st century dream for this technology for observational systems, yes, there is scope for indigenization of the wind and pressure sensors. There is scope for applying the artificial intelligence into the data collected from automated weather stations. There is scope for developing the sensors. At present, as I told you, many sensors are imported. So further automation and collection, archival retrieval of the data can be automated. Then we can have the interfacing and configuration of meteorological sensor for various purposes. So for the first time in the country, we are going to integrate these sensors for agro-meteorological purposes, for agricultural purposes. We are going to establish 200 agro AWS within 6 months. After that, we are going to another 400. So the entire country will have one agro AWS, which is an interface between the meteorological observations and the agricultural observations for application in agriculture. Similarly, the advanced features of GSM and GPRS also we are following up, and remote maintenance technology also being developed, and remote calibration also. Now, if I just go a little more apart from this weather and climate environment monitoring, because it is the School of Environmental Science who is organizing this one, I thought I'll put up some slides. We have got a very good network for ozone monitoring in terms of total columnar ozone, surface ozone, vertical distribution. I just want to say that the ozone Sunday, the measurement of vertical profile, is developed in-house. So aerosol optical properties, black carbon monitoring, pattern coefficient, distribution chemistry, aerosol chemistry, all these are being taken up, and polar meteorology are being taken up by India Meteorological Department, and it has been a success story, and we are at par with various environmental monitoring centers in the world. So these are some of the photographs, just to have a glimpse about the activity which is taken up by India Meteorological Department with respect to environmental monitoring and research. Data are available. Those who are interested to utilize the data from India Meteorological Department, they are welcome. We also welcome the collaborative work for research and development. Now, coming to the aviation sector is, you can say, it is a developing sector. Every now and then, the number of airports are increasing. So we go on increasing our capacity in terms of technology for specialized aviation observations and aviation forecast. So these are some of the examples of the aviation instruments in the airports. The most important thing is that they introduced by government, that is UDAN scheme. Under UDAN scheme, we have small places like Jagdalpur or Hisar, they have got the airports. And we have also enabled ourselves to have the observations with the latest tools and technologies, and this number is increasing. At present, we have the forecast and warning services for about 80 airports in the country. Similarly, if you just look at the sophisticated instruments taken up for these airports, that will find that it's called automated weather observing systems. It is an integrated systems from end-to-end systems which can provide information to all pilots and all the airport agencies and aircraft agencies to be aware before the flight. I just want to mention that no flight can go without weather forecast. It is a mandatory as per requirement of International Civil Aviation Organization. They have to take the briefing about the weather condition and its forecast before the flight. Okay. Similarly, if you just look at small places like Himachal Pradesh, or Uttarakhand, or Jammu and Kashmir, or northeastern states, there are areas, remote areas, where we do not have the connectivity, and heliport is the most important use. For example, when you go for in pilgrim places, Vaishno Devi or somewhere, there also you've got the helipads. For these helipads also you provide the forecast, and there also we have made the system automated by providing automated aviation weather observing systems. So this is just another system for again the aviation purpose. These are the certain tools which are indigenously being developed, the wind lidar and cytometer. For this purpose, defense research development organizations and India Meteorology Department collaborate with each other, and we are hopeful that within a year we will have indigenous lidar and cytometer. Now, satellite is another story, success story. You can find out. We started the satellite technology for weather purpose in 1982, and we have come a long way. Now we have got INSAT 3D, INSAT 3DR, we have got spectrometer-based satellite, and many polar orbiting satellites also. So these are the various types of satellites which have come up, and again, some future satellites which have come up. Indian Space Organizations and Ministry of Earth Sciences work together to adopt this indigenous technology for various applications in weather and climate services. Now, once you've got all these informations are ingested into an array of numerical regression models. You'll be happy to know that Ministry of Earth Sciences India Meteorology Department uses about 7 numerical regression models every day, around twice, which are of very high resolution. It has got high accuracy also. Up to 5 days performance of model is quite good. And then we provide warning services up to 5 days at present. Worldwide also, the warning is provided up to 5 days. Also, we have got the climate forecast models. We also provide the model forecast of El Nino, La Nina, and Mendenhall oscillations. Those are environmental parameters. We also provide the forecast for winter temperature, summer temperature, and monsoon based on the climate forecast systems. Now, if we just look at the various modeling system what we have got the global models with a resolution of about 12 kilometers, the regional model with a resolution of about 3 kilometers. We have also the model with a resolution of about 1.5 kilometers for specific purposes like cyclones and fog. And also we have got various dynamical statistical models. And you'll have to know that we also provide forecast for polar regions. So this polar region forecast also provided at par with other countries. So to carry out all this modeling, to carry out all the processing of the data observed to various platforms, you need a high power computing system. Gone are those days. If you remember 1999, we have only one model run with a capacity of 2 days and forecast accuracy is not good. I'm talking about Odisha Super Cyclone 99 when 10,000 people died. But now we have got the computing system that is high power computing system with the capability of 8.6 petaflop. So, and if you compare it, you will find that our rank in high power computing system has moved from 368th position to 30th position in the top 500 list of HPC facility in the world. Now, if you consider the weather only, then you'll find that India stands at 4th position after Japan, UK, and USA. That is in terms of dedicated high power computing system for weather and climate community. And also, when you think of, we need also the self-reliance in infrastructure, and another infrastructure is the decision support system. India has got the decision support system infrastructure to take all the observations, compare it, comprehend it, analyze it with all the numerical models to provide the real-time situation, and also to provide the forecast and warnings of the different lead periods. Not only the forecast, but also the sectoral applications for various sectors. So these are the few samples from that automated weather systems, which shows the capability to compare the observations and forecast. And thereafter, when you are ready with the forecast, you should also have an infrastructure to disseminate the forecast and warning to the last mile. I'll tell you, over the years, our forecast and warning has improved. If I remember when I was a meteorologist in Bhubaneswar during Odisha Super Cyclone, if we are sending the information of cyclone, it was being sent through telegram to the district collector. And by the time, if I am issuing a telegram at afternoon, it was reaching in the evening. So by the time cyclone might have reached 200 kilometers or 300 kilometers, so people feel that IMD is telling that cyclone here, but by this time cyclone has gone away. So it is because of the lack of communication. But in recent years, India has improved a lot in terms of ICT. And as a result, within 10 minutes, we get all the observations. And on real time, we provide all information, forecast, and warning services to various agencies. For this purpose, we maintain a redundancy. Redundancy because during disaster situations, there can be loss of connectivity in one or two. Therefore, if you have redundancy, you can reach out. But still, there are problems with respect to the fishermen at deep sea or the people in the deep Himalayas or the deserts, where we have got limited communication facilities. So therefore, now ISRO and Ministry of Earth Sciences are coming up together. We have the space-based network that is called the GAMS, Gaggan Messaging System, and NAVIC. So these two, once it is experimental now, it is operated, it will reach out to each and every person anywhere within North Indian Ocean or in the Himalayas. So last picture you can see, there is a dedicated website. You've got many dedicated websites for different purposes. Now, considering the social media in recent times, IMD has come up with various social media handles like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blogs, and WhatsApp, etc. So all these informations are easily available. You can find out a public website. It is recently developed last 1 year, where you can have easy access to the informations which are used by general public. Now, coming to another infrastructure, I was talking about the polar meteorology. So we conduct the Antarctic expedition every year, and we have got very good infrastructure there. Why do we go for polar meteorology? Because the polar meteorology is related to the climatology and weather of the country. And also there are many explorations, which is helpful with the help of the information of weather and climate. Now, if you go to another infrastructure, our modeling system should improve gradually, and we are thinking to improve the numerical modeling, going up to 1 kilometer resolution high resolution model and up to 6 kilometer in global modeling systems, so that we can provide the information at village level. The ultimate objective is to reach out each and every village in the country. Now, coming to the demand of the people with respect to the forecast, you'll find that there are various demands. There are many sectors, I was telling you, which is not, you cannot say any sector which is not dependent upon weather and climate. So therefore, number of demand is increasing. Accordingly, we are trying to have the sufficient supply in terms of weather and climate information. Now, this is just an example of how the 15 days forecast is being used by various sectors like energy, water, human health, disaster risk reduction, and agriculture and food security. We started it in 2012. Now we are coming off this information in a sectoral applications so that it can improve the economic conditions in all these sectors. Now, similarly, if you come to agriculture, as Pramodji was telling about agriculture, agriculture is key to our success and economy, because still now also many of the population are dependent upon agriculture. So what we have done actually as an India program, we are going with Gramin Krishi Kusum Seva. So that means village level agromet advisory services. Now this service is improving and it is completely indigenous, and it is also admired by many people in the world. So in this service, what you find excuse me? Okay. So in this, yes, please.
Yes, sir, you can go ahead. You have only 2 minutes to go, sir.
Fine, I'll take maximum 5 minutes.
Okay.
No issues.
So in this agromet forecast, actually what we do actually the public-private partnership. We have got the forecasting agency, we have got the agriculture agency, we have got the universities, we have got the NGOs, and it's a success story. We provide 43 million people the SMS-based agromet services, apart from other services. It has also been highlighted by National Center for Applied Economic Research that how people have gained about there has been significant gain. You can say about by 2015 it was 42,000 crores, and now the estimate says that there is a gain of 50,000 crores because of the improvement in agromet advisory services. Similarly, with the improvement in economy, people are also moving. So tourism forecast has become another potential area. We're also providing forecast for tourism. And there is also forecast for railways, for road lines, etc. This is just an example of that. I'll just skip because of lack of time. We also provide the pilgrimage forecast, the special forecast for mountains, and because the expeditions, because of various security issues, etc. All specific sector-wise information are provided. And power is, as you know, that we are completely dependent upon power. So therefore, there is a need and there is a heavy demand. And based on this demand, we have come up with a collaboration with the power sector. And there is a dedicated website with the POSOCO. And through that, all the distributing companies utilize weather and climate information to maximize the utility and hence to save the power and also to have the profit. Also, we have come up with wind and solar energy forecast by our sister agencies like National Center for Meteorology Forecasting. We provide also direct model output, the many private sectors and public sectors for application in solar energy and wind energy. So by this way, I will say that there has been a significant breakthrough in various types of sectoral applications in many sectors of disaster management and also in development of the systems and infrastructure to make India self-reliant in terms of weather and climate services. But still, there is scope to improve further, even though we are at par with many leading centers. This scope is because there are still certain science gaps. There are certain gaps in terms of the observations and systems, especially over the sea and with respect to the Himalayas. So, however, Minister of Sciences and IMD is continuously upgrading its plan and strategy for all the above. And I am hopeful in recent years, just like in recent years, we have achieved so much. In future also, will meet the expectation of the people in terms of self-reliant India. Once again, I thank all of you for listening to the talk. If any questions, I'm open to it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your extensive and informative presentation. And many examples you have given throughout the India, how and also how IMD is self-reliant in making India self-reliant by their own initiatives. We all know that IMD is playing very important role in early warning and saving life and properties of the people, lakhs of people in India. We are very thankful to the IMD for their services which they are providing to us. Beside that, whatever the example you have given, lie detecting system and radios on that, software, software also you have, all the indigenous technologies you are developing for our benefit. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Such an informative talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now, as I said before, we'll invite Professor Manoj Datta from the second session for his presentation on the waste to energy. And we all know that waste to energy is a very important subject to go because we have to consider waste as a resource, and this resource we have to use to the fullest because we have very scarce land to dispose them. So we need to have waste to energy as a solution for waste management, which provides us wealth from the waste. We should not consider waste as a waste, we should consider it as a resource. Now I invite Professor Manoj Datta. He is Head of Civil Engineering Department, IIT Delhi, well-renowned professor with the specialization of geotechnical engineering, landfill engineering, municipal solid waste, hazardous waste management. So he has many projects or consultancy which he has handled, and also the research work on his credit. Please, sir, I invite you. Thank you, sir, for coming and enlightening us with your talk. Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon to everybody, and sorry to butt in like this because of some personal reasons. I'm going to speak on not waste to energy, but waste to wealth. And as we are all aware of the work going on at the various dumps where a lot of biomining is going on, I'm going to share the whatever little experience we have there at IIT Delhi. So I'm just trying to move the slide. Who has? Okay, I'll do that. Use the next. Okay, so we are aware of the three major dumps in Delhi. These are all 60 to 65 meters high, and they have 6 million, 8 million, and 14 million tons of waste in them. These are at Okhla, Bhalswa, and Ghazipur. And do they look very benign from far away? When you go on top of a dump, a lot of things are happening. There are people who are disposing the waste. There's leachate coming out. There's a lot of activity at the top because waste is still coming in most of the dumps at 1,000 to 2,000 tons per day. The question that we are addressing is, can we generate reusable resources from these old garbage mountains? And can we make these mountains disappear? So the idea is that if I can dig up this waste and do excavation, screening, and processing, can I get out combustibles, building material, soil, compost, rejects from this waste? And this is basically by excavating, pulverizing, segregation by screening, and magnetic separation, air separation, and others. And the philosophy is that if I can make this dump disappear, I would like to reuse this land. Many people do forget that underneath the land there's a contaminated plume. So that plume would have to be treated, and then the remediated land would be available for reuse. So what are the studies that we've done at IIT Delhi? We've been to all the three landfills. We have dug very deep holes, excavated large amount of material, and we have just done segregation manually, as you can see here, after drying and pulverizing the waste. And we have seen what comes out from these dumps. And we have been able to get to waste which is between 10 to 25 years old in these dumps. And these are the screens that we have used, and this is the kind of material which comes out. You can see soil-like material, you can see gravel. This is, of course, cleaned up. So there's plastics and textiles and glass and unburnt inorganics and other kind of stuff. The important thing to note is that if you look at the soil-like fraction and the fine gravel fraction, that's about 72 to 77%. C&D waste, which is the large size stones and aggregate and concrete chunks, is balanced. Very little combustibles and other type of stuff. They look large in quantity, but they're very as far as weight is concerned. So I'm going to focus on this 80%. What can we do with this 80%? Because you can't make the waste dump disappear if you can't use this 80% material. So the C&D waste which comes out, the large chunks are sent to the C&D processing plant from which building materials can be made. And the plastics and the textiles are converted into RDF and can be sent to the waste to energy plants or to cement plants to recover energy. So what do we do with this soil-like material? And is it clean? So the thought is that they can be used in earthworks as replacement for low soil. That means you can fill low-lying areas, you can make embankments with these, or even if you are able to fill the deep mining pits. Or there is a thought that can we use this as a compost in horticulture. So let's see whether we can do this. But before so the idea is we take up this, mine the waste and take out the soil-like material, which is 80%, make an embankment or fill low-lying areas or fill deep pits. Deep pits, for example, bhatti mines. I'm not propagating that, but I'm giving you the philosophy which is being discussed. So the questions which come to everybody's mind is, are there contaminants in the soil? And are the engineering properties, that is the strength, compressibility, and permeability, good enough? So in this context, I would like to introduce three terms. Whenever we are dealing with waste materials on land, we call it hazardous waste, non-hazardous waste, and inert waste. So inert waste is typically the C&D waste and the soil. And hazardous waste is what comes out from the industries, which has got heavy metals. So this is normally stored in landfills with multi-layer lining and cover systems, 5 to 6 layers in each at the bottom and at the top, so that this is completely isolated. Non-hazardous waste is the garbage or the municipal solid waste with which we deal, and that also has liners in the landfills. And typically a 3-layer system is adopted in non-hazardous waste. And of course, in inert waste, you don't need anything, but sometimes wind erosion can be so high, it gives you so much dust, so you might need a vegetative cover. So you may have a 1 layer or no layer if it is just gravel-sized material. So now the question is the soil-like material, the word SLM that I'm using is soil-like material, which is coming out from these waste dumps, is it hazardous? And typically one does a TCLP, toxicity characteristic leaching procedure test, and the answer is our emissions are lower than the TCLP limits, so the material is not hazardous. Then the next question is the soil-like material inert? Is it like soil? So is SLM like soil? And let's have a look at it. Let's compare it with the local soil. So we take the soil-like material from the landfills and we look at its organic content. It's 6 to 18%. Local soil has 1 to 1.2%. Regulatory limits, if you're going to make embankment, is that the organic content should be less than 5%. Otherwise, long-term settlements of the embankment will cause whatever you construct on it, a road or anything else, to become bumpy and not function properly. When I look at the total soluble solids in the soil-like material, they're very high, 1.5 to 2%. And in the local soil, they are less than 0.1%. And if you look at the regulatory limits, then the sulfates and the chlorides exceed the regulatory limits in this material. And finally, if you pass some water through this soil, and this is Delhi silt, and you pass this water, you'll get clean drinking water. I can pass water from one end and drink it at the other end. But if you pass water through this soil-like material, this is from Okla, this is from Kadapa, this is from Hyderabad, so you get this kind of colored water. And even if you pass 10 times the volume of water in comparison to the volume of the soil, the color doesn't go away. So in a nutshell, and if you look at the heavy metals, though the TCLP does not release heavy metals, in comparison to the local soils, for example, chromium 10 to 28, soil-like material 89 to 230. If I look at lead, for example, 4 to 6, 333. So elevated heavy metals are there. And even these are the total heavy metals, these are the leachable heavy metals. Anything red means there's a warning. So is SLM inert and is it like the local soil? The answer is no. Okay, then let's address the next question. Is the soil like material like compost because it has got reasonably high organic content? And when we do that, and we have the solid waste management rules, and they describe what is a good compost, and they say compost must have more than 12% organic carbon. Our soil has only 4 to 8, but NPK are all right, but it fails on inadequate organic carbon. And if you look at the heavy metals as for compost standards, then again the same problem. Chromium is up there, lead is up there, mercury is up there. So really heavy metals are high. So is it like compost? The answer is no. So let me summarize. The soil-like material is not hazardous, which therefore people say it's inert, but it is not. Soil-like material is not inert. Soil-like material is non-hazardous, just like the municipal solid waste from which it is derived, and it emits pollutants. It does not meet international guidelines for direct application on land or as compost. So if you look at the geotechnical properties, strength, compressibility, it's okay for non-structural fills. It means compressibility means long-term settlements will be there, but its strength is fine. So SLM is okay for non-structural fills if the contaminants can be isolated. We don't want the contaminants going down into the soil. And what do I mean by isolated? If I look at the German and the Netherlands standard, they're talking of sealing off this material with the layers at the top, or isolated reuse, and we can just keep this material isolated from the environment or from the ecosystem. Otherwise, you have to treat it, and there are many treatment technologies which are being currently developed. They're pretty expensive. Let's see what's happening on the site. This is the field operations going on. This is your dump. This is the rotating. So in the site, you use a trommel. This is a rotating screen. You put the feeder in here. It rotates. Whatever is finer than that, it comes out. Then a conveyor belt deposits it. So here you can see the excavator excavating the material and putting it in a hopper. People are standing up here to remove the oversized stones, and across the conveyor it comes out. And this is the soil-like material. And there's just 2 screens are being used. So this is the largest sized material, which is not soil-like material. We are talking about this stuff. So as per the NGT order of 2019, biomining of all waste dumps are underway at Delhi, and NGT has said that all the 2,000 waste dumps across the country should be biomined. So the hand-picked material is the 20 to 30% C&D waste is going to C&D processing plants wherever they exist. The -6 mm material is the soil-like material. In Delhi, it's being sent to an ash pond to make an eco park. The -30 to +6 mm material is what they are being called inerts, wrongly called inerts, because they have all the contaminants. They are going into low-lying areas and pits, or they are being kept at the same site. And this is the real problem, that if they are sent to low-lying areas and they are not isolated, there is going to be a problem. So the productivity of these trommels is coming out to be much lower than what was anticipated. And if the moisture content of the waste is high, clods cause the clogging of the trommels. If the moisture content is low, dust comes out. And you must be reading in the newspapers now. This is just like an aggregate crushing and screening plant. The screening plants create a lot of dust. And nowadays in Delhi, we are talking about dust emissions from landfills. And this is what is happening there. And of course, during the monsoons, the operations cease. So where do we stand? If you look at the global practice, soil-like material mined from old landfills is retained at the landfill itself, or placed in new landfills far away, which are lined. So it's kept isolated. The recent NGT order has directed the mining of the municipal solid waste dumps, and this is leading to unrestricted spreading, because what has not been said is how the material should be resealed when it is placed at a new location. So if you take an MSW dump with a plume below it, and you, for example, sooner or later you will get a request to put it into deep mines because there's not enough place to send this material away. It will go into a deep pit. If you don't line the deep pit, you'll get a new plume. So you'll have 2 sites, one the original site with the contaminant plume and one the new site with the contaminant plume. So unrestricted reuse can cause slow spread if sealing or isolation is not done properly. And this word is very simple. but isolation and sealing is a very complex operation. So when we talk about an embankment made of soil, it looks like this. But if you're going to use soil-like material, you'll have to have these multi-component liner systems, and you'll have to have a leachate collection system. And if you put them in deep pits, be sure that you will need multi-layer liners and covers, and of course, leachate removal systems. And if you want to use, and this is all for non-structural fills, that means things like parks and raising low-lying areas, you can't put a road on it. If you want to use it as a structural fill, which has a structural element on top of it, because the organic content is very high, this material has to undergo treatment so that there is no color, there are no salts which come out of it, and there is no organic content. So this would require washing and thermal treatment at the minimum. And this is, of course, very expensive. The material being sent to the ash pond at the eco park, we can look at it that this material is a low organic content compost with some heavy metals in it. So SLM, this heavy metal content, if you look at the European literature, is okay for non-edible variety of vegetation. It cannot be used for agricultural purposes, but perhaps it can be used. So if this SLM is going to be placed in very thin layers, say 30 centimeters, and mixed with the local soil, and non-edible variety of vegetation is going to grow on it, then grass does grow on it. And I must tell you this because people will keep on telling you material is not bad, bahut acha ghas ugta hai. But remember this, here is that leachate coming out. It rained a few days ago, so the dark colored leachate will come out and grass will grow on it, but it should be of the non-edible variety. So at this time, we can only say the following, that we must have a restricted use of this material, and these entire dumps cannot be made to disappear by spreading this material all over Delhi, because that will cause slow poisoning of everything. And I'd like to just acknowledge the funding we received from MOEF, NCC, and FIRP, the officers of SDMC, EDMC, and DMC who helped us, my colleagues at IIT, and my research students who are working on coal ash, mined waste, waste to energy ash I'll talk on another time, and process CND waste. And these are our publications. If you would like to see what are the contaminants in all this is all in well published now. And these are some of the important other references. And thank you. And since I'm going to be leaving early, my questions can be sent to mdatta@iitd.ac.in. Thank you, and sorry for disrupting the normal flow of things.
No, sir, we can understand your problem. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience, and especially with the biomining of landfills, because that is a very important topic nowadays. And all three landfills we are going to do a biomining. And we recently visited also Ghazipur landfill area, whose the height is increasing as we become as a Qutub Minar. So I and Dr. Dheeraj has went there, and we have seen the trauma, how they are working there. So thank you very much, sir, for sharing your experience.
Superb lecture.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So next now I'll invite Dr. Anand Sharmaji, Additional Director General, Indian Meteorological Department. And he is also an alumni of JNU. He is working on a weather prediction and early warning during extreme weather systems. Please, sir, enrich our knowledge with your experience.
Thank you. So nice of you, Manju. And I'm thankful to SCS and Alumni Association of JNU for giving me the opportunity. Although I am a last minute entrant, so I don't have a very well organized PPT to show you all. And it's very difficult to speak, especially after two excellent speakers. Both were very superb and they shared excellent information. But already, as our Director General has already given you an overall view and explained most of the things, I will only talk about those things maybe which I think little bit which may for self-reliant India Meteorological Department has a major role. There is no doubt about it. And India Meteorological Department is, the nodal agency, and we take observation, and observation is the main backbone of weather forecasting and understanding and forecasting, right? So we use traditional instruments as well as we use modern instruments, and with the help of these instruments we try to understand and predict the weather, develop early warning systems, and at the same time we are also getting newer insights about the changing climate. So this is very, very important, and to understand these newer insights we need newer technologies like artificial intelligence. We still have not started using in India mid department. I think many of the universities and institutes they can really get into this kind of things, like and develop new products, and maybe we can use them. All right. What happens in the US, if you see, the universities develop the products, they do the state of the art research, and then the main government uses them. But here I think that kind of system is about to start. Already some incubation center has been started, some institute has already started working on these lines. I think that needs to be strengthened. So as I was mentioning, those traditional instruments, most of the instrument earlier we were manufacturing, and now some of them we are manufacturing, and some of them are being manufactured by the private partners, and we have PPP mode as well. And then automatic weather stations. Now because with a kind of topographic we have very difficult mountain terrains, we have oceans, so we have to install the automatic weather station where we cannot deploy the manpower. So earlier all these automatic weather stations we were importing from abroad, but now many private companies are manufacturing them, and even some of the components we are helping them out. The third important component is weather radar. Already, as our Director General has already said earlier, there was a time when we used to purchase radar maybe from US, German, China, even in between, and Japan. But now, the companies in India, especially Bell and one Astra company, they have started manufacturing, and we are installing about 10 this X-band radars in the northwest mountain regions. They are all manufactured by the Astra. But as I was talking to the Astra people, they said, जैसे ह्यूमन बॉडी होती है पूरी, तो गर्दन तक तो हमारा पार्ट है, पर ऊपर जो सिर वाला ऊपर वाला पोर्शन है, that we are not able to do it. What he meant to say was the software component which is being used by the radar, it is all developed by the Germans. So this is again one more area where IITs and other institutes, and we are very good in software. So I don't know, somebody has to start, and we can develop that software part as well. So we are making the hardware, but just importing the software. Here, I think some kind of linkage needs to be there. And then we are again we are lucky that we have very good satellite system in India. We are independent there, and these days satellites is really again it's a better for the meteorologist. We are getting so much of information from the satellite, be it cloud top temperature, snow cover, or forest fires, or maybe water vapors, even pollutants. So all this information, and this becomes very, very important in the COVID times. What has happened when the COVID came, we realized, some of the places where we had the manual observations, of course, we tried our level best that there is no disruption because staffs were not coming, but still we managed. But then we realized that sensors on board the satellites. So because some of the observations which we get for weather forecast is from the aeroplanes and from the ships, and during this COVID time there was a disruption in the aeroplane, this air services, and a lot of data was missing, and some even ECMW have said they suffered something like 10 to 50% decrease in their accuracy in the forecasting. So that is again one thing people have realized now, that we have to have very robust systems, automatic systems, self-calibrating kind of systems, so that manual interference is minimum. And this is what we have learned from Corona times. And then like we have radio sound. Radio sound again, we have to get the surface observations, we put the instrument like thermometer, barometer, psychrometers, wind vanes, anemometer, etc. at the surface. But what about if you want the observation at 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer, 3.1 kilometer, like this? So we release balloons, and we launch balloons, and there are two types of balloons. One is simply without instruments, which we monitor it through with the help of theodolite, and that gives us only the wind speed and direction. But there's another kind of balloon where we attach all these instruments, and as the balloon goes up through radio signals, we get the temperature, humidity, pressure, all this data at various levels. So all this surface data and upper air data goes into the models. So this balloons, again, there was an issue, either some of the sensors we import, so they are not coming. So we need to indigenize it. We have to, all the companies should come forward and manufacture all these sensors in India, so that we are self-reliant, and even any kind of disruption we should. And another next step is the auto sound. Here we are manually filling the balloon hydrogen gas, then attaching the instrument, releasing it. Of course, then radar takes over and takes all the data. But now we have the machines. Such machines have come where you supply the balloons, gas, everything is in one setup, and you just you program it, and it will release as per your requirements balloons 2 times a day or 4 times a day, depending on your requirements. And then for a month, maybe at 1 month at least, without any manual interference, you keep getting the data. So I think maybe in future we will need that kind of systems also, but then India doesn't have those kind of systems. They are very expensive. But some IITs or some institute should come forward and do research in this kind of things. Radar, I was telling, there's another issue. We have radars, but we don't have people from the universities who have knowledge about the radars. So I think some of the universities can start some courses, ABTEC in radar, so that students who come out of that, they can join IMD. From the day one, they are experts in the radar. Otherwise, we have to train those people again, and then there are many issues. So I think, again, some of the universities can these kind of courses where people are taught maybe software part, hardware part, and even operational part. So these are some of the things which are very, very important. And then one more important issue is atmospheric research aircraft. As you must have seen in abroad, even they chase the cyclones, and then they have the aircraft which goes into the hurricane or the cyclone, and then it releases a sensor and takes observations. And it's very dicey kind of things, but we don't have that kind of setup. But yes, India Ministry of Earth Sciences is planning to buy an aircraft, and soon it will be equipped with all those kind of equipment. And whenever there is extreme cumulonimbus cloud or extreme weather, we that take those kind of valuable information which is otherwise not available. So those information will help us in improving our understanding and then better predictions. So I think with all this, there are a lot of efforts being done at IMD level to understand all these things. And of course, models. Most of the models we use are from the abroad. But again, as our DG was also saying, we had like 12-kilometer models, we had 3-kilometer resolution models, but farmers want forecast at their village level or their field level. So we need to have fine resolution models. So we are working on that. Then mountains, especially, again, it's a very complex topography. Each valley has a different kind of, sort of climate and weather and climate. So to understand that, we need to have mesoscale valley-based models. So a lot of research, again, some of the universities can take this kind of work to develop those kind of models. So, as you all know, that there is hardly any area from aviation to disaster management to pollution to agriculture where weather information is not required. Everyone eagerly waits for that. And as our DG also said, we have come to the expectations. Continuously, we are upgrading our technology. And with that, losses have reduced and crop productivity is increasing. Our Prime Minister also says to increase the, income of the farmers. And India Meteorological Department has a specialized agro-meteorological services where weather-based agro-advisories to the farmers are really playing a crucial role. Already 4 crore farmers are benefited by this through our SMS, through web-based services, and through WhatsApp. We are sending this information to them, and they're timely using it. Say, for example, it's going to be heavy rain or there is going to be a freezing temperature. If the farmer sows his seed, it is going to be waste. So we tell them well in advance when to sow, when to harvest, when to apply irrigation, how much to irrigate, when to apply pesticide. All this information is being provided to the farmer. So we are trying our level best to contribute to our economy. We are trying our level best to be self-reliant. So, but yes, as there are lots of gaps and we need to fill that. We again, I mean, if I summarize, so what we need to do, we need to have better and automated instruments. We need to have self-calibrating instruments so that you need not go and calibrate. Suppose there is COVID time, nobody can go. So I mean, system automatically calibrate itself. So automation has to be, self-calibration has to be there, and then more and more space-based sensors. So they are not affected by the COVID or some other kind of maybe war or something else. And then aircraft, better resolution models, artificial intelligence. So these are some of the issues which I feel needs more strengthening, and I am sure that in coming years we will come to. We will do breakthrough research in these areas, and it will further improve our forecast accuracy and skill, and will definitely contribute for the improvement of our economy and safety of our people. I think thank you very much. I will keep it at this short, and if there are questions, I'll take up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a nice and explanatory your speech, where you said everything, explained everything, how you are going for EEE, how the institution come forward, how we should develop our new technologies or sensors or use a safe softwares technology so that we'll become a more self-reliant, and how your IMD is doing that. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, and I'm honored to be the alumni of SES and JNU. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, being here. Thank you, sir. Yes. Next, again, we are going to the second session. The second session is waste to energy. So already we had one presentation from Dr. Professor Manoj Dattaji from IIT Delhi, who has said about the biomining. So next is in the line is Professor Rana Pratap Singh Ji. He is from Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University. He is a Dean of Department of Environmental Sciences, Chairperson of UP State Environmental Impact Assessment Appraisal Authority, and he has large number of paper in his credential. He has done research on eco-friendly usage of fertilizer, phytoremediation. He has more than 150 publication. He has large number of project also he has handled. So, sir, please, I invite you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, being here. Thank you.
Namaskar. After spending, and I just enjoyed the session very well, and we had very extensive lectures by two very significant experts of very highly rated institutions. I am very grateful to the organizers this Alumni Association of JNU and GRC and all other organizers to inviting me and to giving the opportunity to listen and to share my views. After having a 40 years in academics and research, few questions comes to my mind. We are having a lot of informations on various subjects, and as these experts presented their work, I think a very big number of experts from various institutions, various government departments are there who have a lot of work in various fields. But now, most of the, being in academics, I feel that most of the understanding we are having about subjects are of it has a overview and cover of the entire global problems and national problems sometimes. But Now, with this self-reliant movement of Government of India, we are realizing that we have to translate the knowledge which have been gathered to grassroots level solutions. So what will be a structured planning for that? How we can develop a skilled manpower? Can we incorporate the translational process, which I think the people like Dr. Dheeraj Singh must be understanding who are in business? Can we incorporate such skills and knowledge in our courses? New education policy says it, but this is a big challenge. The people who are associated with academics understand that accommodating the very global science research which is going on day to day at global level, and then adding to a new dimension how this knowledge can be converted into translational research and can be converted into translational plans, business, self-reliant business models. It is a big challenge. Second point I just want to underline that two new happenings, climate change and related global warming and other increased disasters and change in precipitation pattern and these aspects. And then global focus on sustainable development goals. These two aspects, which are recent phenomena, at least recent realizations, and it has given a very significant emphasis on environmental and climatic studies. So, being researcher, being academician, the entire institutions and government departments have a challenge to lead towards, means convert the knowledge to a solution. This part is very significantly missing, and I think after a lot of government projects are made and implemented in the field, but we don't have authentic monitoring and analysis system which can give input regularly to add to programs so that programs can be changed and effectivity of programs can be validated. This part is also important. So how our knowledge can be developed into startups, to say in nutshell business models, and how, and that too is small business models, and how like government institutions, if these business models will also not be able to make effective intervention at grassroots level, then there will be no benefit of that. So monitoring, evaluation, scientific analysis, and incorporation of whatever is coming to the plans and perspectives is very important, and those areas are, I think, most challenging. I, at least as a teacher, as a researcher, after 4 decades in this field, realize that probably people should shift some attention from core research to developing structured planning for implementation of these knowledge, science technology based knowledge through the business models, because we have to make it self-sustainable. We cannot depend on government input all the time. So this is one very challenging area where I just wanted to underline, uh, which is very challenging, and we should work. I think academicians, researchers, business people, and youth, rather the people who are having a very energetic expectations should come together and work on these translational aspects. Secondly, what are areas where the experts have explained certain fields in very details, very pertinent fields in climate science and in waste management. I think that certain areas are emerging. There may be more areas, but I will just like to count certain areas where these startups can be initiated, so that we can concentrate on certain aspects, how to go for research to translation and to grassroots solutions. One is certainly the this, as we talked, environmental science people or climate science people can go for giving forecast information, as our climatic scientists are doing a lot and government system is doing, to the persons, especially in agriculture. A lot of crisis is there due to increasing disasters, which have been enhanced very rapidly by climate change happenings. So how actually we are talking since long, a few years I can see that these information should reach to people, and our colleague at meteorology department is telling that it is government is doing it. But I think farmers, if farmers are able to get benefit of that, and they are really availing the benefit and resolving their problems, resolving their losses, then why people are not interested in agriculture? This question come to my mind. There is a lot of research we are doing in agriculture science. Several institutions, several departments from states and centers, but why people are not interested in agriculture? Certain basic questions are lying which are related to translation. I will not say extension. Sometimes technologies which are developed are not acclimatized at grassroots level. We have a very varied agro-climatic, climate and regional, cultural diversity. And unless that social, cultural, economic diversities will be addressed for just implementing the technologies which are developed by the institutions, it will be not fruitful. I think many technologies. I understand technology and I understand grassroots problems, and I can say that many technologies are not able to be adopted by people due to certain reasons. Nobody talks about those reasons. There are so many. I will not talk just here because time is less. But there are a big, huge gap, and that gap has to be fulfilled in a very structured planning, which has not been discussed in our country yet. So agriculture, then solar energy. I think now we are talking that in India, solar energy can be very successful, and in distant places also, local grids can be established, and even rate from say 12 rupees per unit to 4-5 rupees per unit have come down. But then we shall require a huge network for establishing solar energy systems and for maintaining it, repair and maintenance. That will require a lot of service inputs, and many service startups can come in this area. Waste management, certainly not only in urban areas where a huge mountain of waste is seen, and our colleague described how it can be managed scientifically. In rural area also, a lot of waste, toxic and non-toxic waste are getting generated, and it requires a kind of management system. So waste management, including bioremediation or other remediation systems, have a huge potential in the coming days, where air, water, soil has to be remediated, and waste management has to be done in a very scientific way, so that it should not contaminate again the ecosystems, which is happening at present, and it can be utilized for more useful substances. For example, even in agriculture, if you take banana, which is getting cultivated in a large area, uh, every part can be used for various products, and certain technologies are available for fiber, for say certain very useful products from its trunk. So all those things are there, but we don't have system to utilize it. In agriculture, especially, I would like to say that a lot of resources are utilized. Natural resources are utilized to produce food or produce any plant, and that if that is not completely utilized, adequately utilized, then we are allowing a lot of wastage of the natural resources without which could have been utilized, and farmers' income could have been increased multifold. So this, so many other like I in last but not in least, I would like to say that these monitoring, evaluation, and analysis services are going to grow as a very promising sector in coming days in service sector related to environment, because if government will really be serious to implement their plans, they have to adopt the third party evaluation services. And if it will not be adopted, I am very clear that our plans are not going to be successful. So this, I think, we should, as university teacher, I feel we are struggling with the implementation of new education policy, and how at least till we are working in a system, we have to see how we can incorporate these requirements in our educational syllabus and educational plans. But then here, many sectors are getting represented, and I think people from different sectors must think about these things, how we can very structurally develop the ways and means to establish self-sustained translational projects and startups, which can I can just say that many of you are knowing that consultancy services in environmental science, the environment technology, and these basically climate science, have given maximum job to people, and maximum business establishments have come in these areas. So this is one area. So many areas, similar areas, are waiting for initiative from different sectors, from people with different kind of experience, and they should come together and work something in a very practical way. So with these words, I offer my input, my services, if required by anyone. I have a mission to go far from core research to these translational research things, and where startups can be initiated and we can help people to go for startup. So I think I appeal you all to find these kind of initiatives, and let us fulfill this requirement, which is still not taken up as it should have been taken. And this government call, Prime Minister's call, has given a very good opportunity to all of us to move towards that. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your providing us the baseline study, how we can go for a baseline study, and how can we make ourselves self-sustainable and self-reliant in grassroots level. So you have given a good examples of the agriculture, how can planning and agriculture should go together, and whatever the gap is in it should be removed. Waste management, solar energy, so all this are definitely going to help us, and we can think on it, and we will do the practical work ahead. Thank you, sir. And small business model also, sir. All explained very nicely. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. So now I'll invite our next speaker, Ms. Surbhi Tomar. She is from Paryawaran Sarakshan Gatividhi, National Pracharak Pramukh, and working in 738 District on Environmental Management and Sustainability. Welcome, ma'am. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, welcome.
Yes, thank you. Dhanyavad, Manjuji.
Thank you.
Yes, that was very nice. I will share my screen. Just give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
Can you see my screen?
I think, yeah.
Yes,
Now it's
yes.
available here. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So, सबसे पहले तो सभी को नमस्कार, धन्यवाद. Today I will, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but bear with me while I present a few numbers that you guys might be interested in. I will touch base upon two topics today. One is eco-bricks, and that is basically waste segregation at source. Second is how we can tie this back to a circular economy so that we can become an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, firstly, a little bit of introduction about who we are, Paryawaran Sanrakshan Gatividhi. We are a nationwide environment organization. We have presence almost in every single state of India, from Arunachal Pradesh to Goa to Jammu Kashmir to even Kerala, in about 738 districts. Around 7,500 people work directly with us, and about 11 lakh people have registered to become our volunteers. What do? We focus on three things, which is Paid Lagao, Pani Bachao, and Polythene Hatao. This third topic is what I will be touching base upon today. How do we do this? How do we do Polythene Hatao? How do we do waste segregation at source? What Pramod Kumarji said in the very beginning of this entire webinar was, what is waste? That is something that we also question ourselves. What is waste? Is the newspaper that comes out of our house, is that considered as waste? We don't think of that as waste. Why? Because it has some monetary value attached to it. It is tying back to the economy in some way. There is a businessman who makes money out of that. We, as a house owner, make some money out of it. So what about the rest of the garbage that we are throwing out? Does that have some monetary value? Bear with me while I share some numbers. For example, in Calcutta, 4,500 tons of MSW, which is the municipal solid waste, goes out. And that is organic waste. But a survey done in Bangalore, Bangalore's composting sites, the government-owned composting sites, showed that this organic waste, the segregated waste that was coming to these composting sites, out of that, about 85% was non-compostable. The reason was the small pieces of cut plastic that we have, that we just throw away. It could be a bottle cap, it could be the single-used plastic, it could be, and most importantly, it is the cut pieces. When you get a milk packet, that small piece of plastic, we just throw it away. No one can segregate it, not the scavengers, not the municipal bodies. What happens to that is that it ends up creating about 1 lakh ton of waste every month. Now, in the presentation, I will speak about it. See, in our Indian culture, we know that we have deep roots in the environment. We have a culture of speaking of worshipping our land. We have a culture of worshipping trees. It is deep rooted. In fact, research shows that rural areas produce almost no waste that goes into the landfill, which is changing now because of plastic and polythene. Now, again, this is a huge problem. These cut pieces of plastic, the single-use plastic, 26,000 tons of single-use plastic that goes into landfills every year. That is a humongous problem because, as even Manoj Datta ji showed, this becomes leachate, it goes into our groundwater, and it ends up becoming part of our ecosystem. It goes into around 10 square kilometer of groundwater around a landfill. There are 4,000 landfills across India. And these landfills are usually surrounded by farmers. These farmers are growing these vegetables and rice and other crops, which we end up buying. And these small plastic pieces, molecules, have been found in plants, which end up in our blood, and they can never come out. This has even created a whole lot of problem for us because it messes with our hormones. It's even carcinogenic. The single-use plastic, the other problem that it creates is it kills lakhs of animals every year. We think that we just thrown away a piece of plastic and it will end up in a landfill and nothing will happen. But that is not the case. Cows are eating it and they are dying by the thousands every month. Even in oceans, we 100 kgs of plastic in their stomach and they have died. Pieces of plastic have been found in Antarctica. Now I'm creating the problem statement, so bear with me. And whatever we are throwing, it is coming back to us. Do not think that the polythene or the cut pieces of plastic that are going away are just going away. They are not. They are going into our mineral water. They have been found in just regular mineral water because no machine can remove these plastic pieces. It's entering our blood. It's, as I said, it is carcinogenic. It's affecting our hormones. It is creating a whole bunch of problems. So what do we do? Now, one more interesting data set. Here you can see the plastic waste generation per person from 2010 data. This is a little bit old data, but still, India is almost negligible. It's one of the least consumers of plastic per person. However, comes to the disposal system, we are one of the worst. About 85% of our plastic waste that is created is disposed of in a really bad manner. And we all know it because it ends up on our roads. We see it everywhere. The problem is the microplastics. Right now, we are at about 1 million tons. This is across the world surface area. If we stop it now, we might be able to just stop it at 1.5 million tons. But if we don't, it might reach to 2.5 million. These microplastics are the really, really, really tiny small pieces of polythene and plastic. Now, I will come back to the solution. How do we stop it? Do you think we can have machines at the landfills? We can try to, but that will not solve the problem. As Manoj Datta already showed us. So the biggest and the only solution is that we, every single person, you and me, should be doing waste segregation at source, at our houses. If we do not start, if we are not segregating, then this waste will fill and it will become leachate no matter what technology we come up with. It will be contaminated. And we are bringing poison back into our ecosystem. So how do we do it? One of the big is something called an eco-brick. Eco-brick is nothing but it's a plastic bottle in which you capture small pieces of plastic and small pieces of single-use polythene, something that cannot be recycled. It's very important that non-recyclable plastic and small pieces of cut pieces, which are not usually bought by our circular economy, should be used in making these eco bricks. Just take a clean bottle, insert the polythene and plastic pieces, stuff it with a stick, and your eco brick is ready. And what do we do? What do we put in it? All these small, tiny pieces of plastic. Just do not let them out of your house. The burden of the waste management in India should not and cannot lie with the private players or with the government. It lies on us, the people. Someone in the beginning of our webinar spoke about changing government policy webinar. But जन जागरण जब होता है ना, तभी हमारी नीतियां बदलती। आपसे मेरे से जब बदलाव आएगा तब नीतियां बदलेंगी। Policies will change only when we are able to change ourselves. So first we start with ourselves. Start putting cut pieces, wrappers and plastic and small tiny pieces of plastic waste that cannot be segregated, that cannot be reused or recycled into these eco bricks. And what will we do with the eco bricks? I will come back to it a little bit and tie it back to our circular economy. What should we not put in? Anything that can be recycled, anything that can be compostable should not be put in the eco brick. So eco brick has applications, but firstly, again, I will repeat the same point, is that we should remember that even if we throw it away in the garbage again, it still saves about 100 square feet of space. 100 square feet of plastic that was going to go spread around, 100 pieces of microplastic that has spread around the world will be contained in one small plastic bottle. It adds another layer of protection of these plastics and polythene pieces not becoming leachate. Let me see if I can play this here. Okay, if you see in this picture, in this video, this was taken at a landfill close to Bangalore. There was a mining going on next to a landfill, and they found and they complained about this liquid dripping out of their mining efforts. This is what Manoj Datta, Professor this is, mind you, this is underground streams of chemicals flowing. And why is this happening? This is happening because we are throwing away things which can be recycled, which can be captured. Waste which should not be waste. For example, our organic waste, which we should be able to sell and get some money out of. Exactly how we sell our newspapers and are able to get money out of that. That is ending up here, combined with the plastic and small cut pieces that should not be going into a landfill also, which should be captured in like an eco brick. Some examples of what people are doing with eco bricks once they have created them. One is this Haryana's Mission Green Foundation. They are taking one eco brick and giving 3 cloth bags in return. In Dehradun, they are making an eco park. They created so many eco bricks that the entire polythene waste of Dehradun was finished. They had to wait for a little while to be able to collect polythene again and small cut pieces again to be able to create more eco bricks to create this eco park. If you see, they have made tree guards, they have made footpath and even benches out of these eco bricks. Now remember, every single eco brick that we are using over here, 100 square feet of land is getting saved. And 10 square kilometers of that groundwater, which gets contaminated with leachate, that gets saved. In Delhi, they used women who were living in slums to make these eco bricks. They were given jobs. So this is coming back to the circular economy of getting jobs and creating entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are not just the people who are making and working in waste management. Maps. Entrepreneurs are also the people who are working on a sustainable living, small businesses, the people who actually make our economy work. So these slum women, women who lived in slums, women who lived in slums were making eco bricks and getting about 10 rupees per eco brick. And these people made furniture out of it, and they were getting offers of about 600 to 700 rupees per stool. In Haryana, somebody has made a wall out of eco bricks. Some locations where the government has supported, especially with Nitin Gadkari ji having given a green light to using plastic in road building. These things are also getting used in road building. Some locations we have created footpaths. Now we say that polythene bandhan is Dharti Vandan. So we should follow our culture and do Dharti Vandan by doing polythene ka bandhan. Now my presentation ends. Thank you so much. I will just again request everybody to start waste segregation at source. This is how we are going to contribute back to the economy, create a Atmanirbhar Bharat by creating smaller recyclable uses of maybe an eco brick or compostable waste or small pieces of plastic or iron that can be segregated and creating entrepreneurs who can use it or reuse it. So thank you. I will stop.
Thank you, Sajiji. It was very nice talk, and especially with your experience, you are working with the ground level and making this eco bricks. It was a very interesting and thought process has increased. How can we make use this polythenes and also the bottles which we have into a useful eco path, key guard, foot, benches, bricks, wall, and how the entrepreneurship can develop, and these ladies are getting money out of it by doing the dual work. They are doing good for the environment, at the same time entrepreneurship, they're increasing the salary or the money for themselves. The circular economy is very important. Waste to wealth is very important. Waste to be, it is not waste, it is a resource which is lying in the wrong place. I'm also a person who is working in the same field, and the waste segregation also I feel very important. Waste to energy also very important. Eco compost, making of compost and reusing it. So that's a very important field one has to work, being an environmental scientist or to sustain our environment for large. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much being here. This next is the last presentation we have for today. That is from the Mr. Imtiaz Ali. He is a renowned waste to energy implementer from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, founder of Sarthak Sanstha, which has a self-work group inspiring people to collect, recycle plastic waste, and very important for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan for our Prime Minister Dream Project. Thank you, sir. Imtiaz ji, please start your presentation. Thanks. You have to unmute yourself, sir. Please unmute yourself. Yeah, yes, sir. Please. Ahead.
आप सभी को मेरा स्वच्छ नमस्कार। जैसा कि आप सब अभी सुरभि जी ने प्लास्टिक के बारे में काफी प्रॉब्लम्स बताई और किस तरह ये प्रॉब्लम प्लास्टिक जो है एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या के रूप में हमारे समाज में विराजमान है। अब प्लास्टिक के बारे में ये कहा जाता है कि एक ऐसा पदार्थ है, अगर इसको 1000 साल भी जमीन में दबा कर रखा जाए तो ये वैसा ही निकलता है। और प्लास्टिक के डिस्पोजल के लिए नित नए तरीके अडॉप्ट किए गए, लेकिन हम लोगों ने वर्ष 2006 और 7 में मध्य प्रदेश प्रदूषण नियंत्रण बोर्ड के साथ मिलकर एक भोपाल मॉडल प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करना शुरू किया था, क्योंकि प्लास्टिक उस समय पे भोपाल में जो निकल रहा था उससे पहले व्यवस्था ये थी कि माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 2008, 7 और 8 के अंदर 20 माइक्रोन की पॉलिथीन पर बैन लगाया। इससे पहले व्यवस्था ये थी जो हमारे कचरा बीनने वाले, कचरा चुनने वाले, जिनको हम रैक पिकर्स, बेस्ट पिकर कहते हैं, जो हमारे द्वारा फेंके गए कचरे में से अपनी काम की चीजों को चुनते हैं और अपना और अपने परिवार का पालन पोषण करते हैं, उन लोगों द्वारा ये प्लास्टिक को कलेक्ट करके कबाड़ी वाले को सेल किया जाता था और ये कबाड़ी वाले उनको रिसाइकल को देते थे, रिसाइकलिंग के नए उत्पाद बनाकर मार्केट में लेके आते थे। लेकिन जैसे ही 20 माइक्रोन की पॉलिथीन पे बैन लगा तो ये प्लास्टिक उठना बंद हो गया और भोपाल में उस टाइम पे देखा गया कि एक हैवी रेनफॉल हुआ, जो आज से 4 साल पहले बेंगलोर में स्थिति हुई थी कि जलमग्न हो गया था, जितने भी हमारे सीवेज बॉडी थे वो सारे पॉलिथीन के फंसने से जल अवरुद्ध हो गया था और वही की वही स्थिति भोपाल में निर्मित हुई। तो वहीं से हम लोगों ने एक भोपाल मॉडल परियोजना की परिकल्पना करी कि प्लास्टिक को कलेक्शन और उसमें रोज पिकर्स और कचरा बीनने वालों को रोजगार उपलब्ध कराना, साथ ही इस प्लास्टिक का साइंटिफिक डिस्पोजल करना। अब प्लास्टिक के बारे में जो कहा जाता है कि ये नॉन रिसाइकलेबल, नॉन यूज या मल्टी लेयर प्लास्टिक जो है, इसको डिस्पोज करना बहुत ही मुश्किल था। तो इसी प्लास्टिक पे हम लोगों ने काम करना शुरू किया और मध्य प्रदेश पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड के साथ मिलकर हम लोगों ने SEC कैमोर में एक ट्रायल रन किया कि यदि इस प्लास्टिक को हाई डिग्री टेम्परेचर पर बंद किया जाए तो इसके क्या रिजल्ट आएंगे। हम लोगों ने जब इसे 800 डिग्री टेम्परेचर पर बंद किया तो इसमें फेरॉन और डाइक्सिन जो थे रिलीज हुए, लेकिन जैसे ही इसको 1200 डिग्री टेम्परेचर पर बंद किया तो फेरॉन और डाइक्सिन जो थे वो 0 हो गए और इसकी जो कैलोरीफिक वैल्यू थी वो कोयले से 3 टाइम्स ज्यादा थी। यहीं से हमारे इस प्रोजेक्ट को मिला। हम लोग ने भोपाल में एक 10x10 का एक कलेक्शन सेंटर शुरू किया और वहां पर इस प्लास्टिक को कलेक्ट करके सिविल इंडस्ट्रीज में एज ए अल्टरनेटिव फ्यूल यूज करने के लिए हमने इसको देना शुरू किया। भोपाल के अंदर उस समय पे लगभग 20 से 25 पशुओं की मृत्यु सिर्फ पॉलिथीन खाने से हो रही थी और एक एक पशु के आमाशय में से लगभग 20 से 25 किलो पॉलिथीन की गांठें निकल रही थी। साथ ही जो नगर निगम का जो अमला होता है, उनको जो सीएस लाइन वाला जो उनका अमला होता है, लगभग नगर निगम का जो रेवेन्यू वाला पार्ट था वो 40% सिर्फ नालों की सफाई में ही खर्च हो जाता था। तो इन 3 इश्यूज को लेते हुए हम लोगों ने प्लास्टिक अपशिष्ट प्रबंधन रैक पिकर उत्थान परियोजना भोपाल से प्रारंभ की और यहीं से हम लोगों ने इस कार्य को शुरू किया। अब भोपाल में जो हम लोगों ने काम किया, लगभग 19 जोन, 84 वार्ड और लगभग 23 लाख की आबादी को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम लोगों ने 5 कलेक्शन सेंटर्स बनाए और इन 5 कलेक्शन सेंटर्स के अंदर जितने हमारे 1650 कचरा बीनने वाले रैक पिकर्स थे उनको अपने साथ जोड़ा और साथ जोड़कर उन्हें स्वरोजगार मुखी बनाने के लिए प्रयास किया, क्योंकि वर्ल्ड कहता है कि जो नगरीय जनसंख्या होती है उसका लगभग 2% भाग जो है वो कचरा बीनने वाले या कचरे पर निर्भर परिवार है। तो इन्हीं 2% लोगों को हम लोगों ने आइडेंटिफाई किया और उनके साथ काम करना शुरू किया, क्योंकि ये पूरी परियोजना जो थी नानाजी देशमुख से प्रेरित होकर बनाई गई थी। मैं खुद नानाजी के साथ काम किया तो नानाजी का एक कथन था कि मैं अपने लिए नहीं हूं, अपनों के लिए हूं और अपने वो हैं जो दरिद्र एवं उपेक्षित हैं। तो शहरी क्षेत्र में हमें सबसे ज्यादा दरिद्र वो व्यक्ति लगा जो हमारे द्वारा फेंके गए कचरे में से अपनी काम की चीजों को चुनता है और हमारा और पर्यावरण का संरक्षण करता है। तो उन्हीं वर्ग को लेते हुए हम लोगों ने परियोजना प्रारंभ की और लगभग मध्य प्रदेश के 23 ULB के अंदर 7 साल इस परियोजना को हम लोगों ने प्रारंभ किया। जहां भी कचरा बीनने वाले थे, भोपाल के अंदर लगभग 3200 रैक पिकर्स हम लोगों ने आइडेंटिफाई किए। इसमें से लगभग 80 से 85% जो महिलाएं थी जो इस काम में इन्वॉल्व थी और जो 15 से 20% जो थे पुरुष थे, उनको कचरे को सर पे ढोने की व्यवस्था थी। इस व्यवस्था को खत्म करने के लिए हम लोगों ने साइकिल रिक्शा को यहाँ पर प्रमोट किया और उनकी कॉलोनियों में, बस्तियों में जाकर इन कचरा बीनने वाले परिवारों को अपने साथ जोड़ने के लिए एक सहमति बनाई और उनको नगर निगम के साथ जोड़ा। उसी समय पे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरमेंट और केंद्र सरकार द्वारा एक योजना पर काम किया गया कि कचरा बीनने वालों को नगरीय निकायों में जोड़ा जाए, उनका एनरोलमेंट करा जाए। वहीं से इन कचरा बीनने वालों को गवर्नमेंट का संरक्षण प्राप्त हुआ और जिन कचरा बीनने वालों को कचरा बीनने वाला, कचरा चुनने वाला हम बोलते हैं, उनको सार्थक कर्मी का नाम दिया गया और सभी जगहों पर जा जाके जहां पर ये कचरा बीनने वाले सार्थक कर्मी काम करते थे उनके ओरिएंटेशन कैंप किए और सारे कचरा बीनने वालों को हमने अपने साथ जोड़ा और साथ जोड़कर इस परियोजना का एक अहम हिस्सा बनाया। उनके पूरे एनरोलमेंट हुए, उनके हेल्थ चेकअप, उनके बच्चे इस काम के अंदर ना जाए, उनके लिए एजुकेशन सिस्टम, उनकी एल्डर महिलाओं के लिए अलग अलग स्किल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम करके साइकिल रिक्शों के माध्यम से हम लोगों ने 2008 में डोर टू डोर कचरा कलेक्शन का एक प्रोग्राम शुरू किया और एक रेवेन्यू मॉडल म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन भोपाल को दिया। आज पूरे मध्य प्रदेश के अंदर लगभग 23,000 साइकिल रिक्शों के माध्यम से कचरे का कलेक्शन होता है और डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन करके प्लास्टिक को अलग किया जाता है। और इसमें भी रैक पिकर सार्थक कर्मियों को ही इन्वॉल्व किया गया है, जिससे कि इनको एक अस्थायी रोजगार मिला है, साथ ही प्रतिष्ठा भी स्थापित हुई। हम लोगों ने हमारे जो प्लास्टिक कलेक्शन सेंटर्स बनाए, यहाँ पर उस एरिया के जो भी सार्थक कर्मी कचरा बीनने वाले होते हैं वो कलेक्शन सेंटर्स पर ये प्लास्टिक को लेके आते हैं। यहाँ वो प्लास्टिक लिया जाता है जो कि नॉन रिसाइकलेबल है और रिसाइकलेबल है। नॉन रिसाइकल प्लास्टिक को हम लोग जो है इसकी गांठें बनाकर सिविल इंडस्ट्रीज के अंदर इसको एज ए अल्टरनेटिव फ्यूल यूज करने के लिए भेजते हैं। साथ ही रोड निर्माण में भी इस प्लास्टिक को हम लोग भेजते हैं। लगभग 8000 किलोमीटर पिछले 5 वर्षों के अंदर मध्य प्रदेश में प्लास्टिक से रोड निर्माण है और बिटुमेन डामर से सस्ते रोड 12% सस्ते रोड यहाँ पर निर्मित हुए हैं। साथ ही जो लंबी अवधि चलने वाले रोड है बिटुमेन और प्लास्टिक के रोड को अगर कंपेयर करें तो ये रोड बिटुमेन 3 टाइम ज्यादा चलते हैं। इस तरह हम लोगों ने एक पूरा एक सिस्टमेटिक अप्रोच गवर्नमेंट को दिया और स्वच्छ भारत मिशन ने 2014 में भोपाल मॉडल को अडॉप्ट किया और आज लगभग 5000 सिटीज के अंदर भोपाल मॉडल को रिप्लिकेट किया जा रहा है। सभी जो सिविल इंडस्ट्रीज थी, इन सिविल इंडस्ट्रीज के अंदर इस प्लास्टिक को एज अल्टरनेटिव फ्यूल यूज करने के लिए एक पूरी नीति केंद्रीय प्रदूषण नियंत्रण बोर्ड के द्वारा बनाई गई और मध्य प्रदेश शासन ने इसको अनुशंसा करके दिल्ली भेजा। जो भी सिविल इंडस्ट्री है वो कोल में लगभग 12% प्लास्टिक का यूज करते हैं। पिछले 10 सालों से प्लास्टिक जो है इस सिविल इंडस्ट्री को जा रहा है, किसी भी तरह का कोई नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट नहीं है। लगभग 1200 से 1400 डिग्री टेम्परेचर पर इस प्लास्टिक को जो है इन सिविल इंडस्ट्रियों के अंदर एज अल्टरनेटिव फ्यूल यूज किया जा सकता है, किया जा रहा है और बहुत ज्यादा कोयले की बचत की जा रही है। और इस प्लास्टिक का कोई रिड्यूस या इसका कोई दूसरा वेस्टेज भी नहीं बचता है, 30% इसका निष्पादन हो जाता है। और एसीसी कैमोर ने ही लास्ट ईयर लगभग 5 करोड़ रुपए का कोयला सिर्फ प्लास्टिक को अपनी इंडस्ट्री में बंद करके बचाया। तो कचरा बीनने वालों के सामने एक बहुत अच्छा स्वरोजगार का और जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत की आज जो बात की जा रही है कि 2007 और 8 के अंदर नानाजी देशमुख की प्रेरणा से हम लोगों ने प्रारंभ की थी और आज लगभग मध्य प्रदेश में 19,000 कचरा बीनने वाले जिनकी इनकम पहले 60 से 70 रुपए थी, आज 500 रुपए हो गई है। और वो भी स्वच्छ भारत मिशन में, स्वच्छता सर्वेक्षण में शासन को कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर अपना सहयोग दे रहे हैं। हम लोगों ने एक इस प्लास्टिक को के अंदर बहुत से इनर मटेरियल और फूड वेस्ट होता था, इसको कैसे क्लीन करें, तो इसके लिए हम लोगों ने एक फटका मशीन यहाँ पर बनाई जिसकी लागत लगभग 45,000 रुपए आई। इस फटका मशीन के अंदर हम गंदा प्लास्टिक डालते हैं और पूरा डस्ट जो होता है वो नीचे की साइड जमा हो जाता है और क्लीन प्लास्टिक जो होती है वो दूसरी साइड गिर जाती है। इस प्रकार इस क्लीन प्लास्टिक को हम लोग जो है रोड निर्माण के अंदर यूज करते हैं, जिससे कि सस्ते और सुलभ रोड बनाए जा रहे हैं। दूसरी हम लोगों ने बैलिंग मशीन के माध्यम से लगभग 120 केजी के बिल्डर्स बनाते हैं और इन बिल्डर्स को हम लोग जो है सिविल इंडस्ट्रीज में अल्टरनेटिव फ्यूल यूज करने के लिए भेजते हैं, जिससे कि जो प्लास्टिक या वेस्ट की जो ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉस्ट थी वो लगभग 40% जो थी वो कम हुई, क्योंकि नगर निगमों के अंदर कचरे को ट्रांसपोर्ट करने में अधिकतर राशि खत्म होती है। उस राशि को कम करने के लिए ये बैलिंग मशीनों का संचालन हम लोगों ने अपने सभी संग्रहण केंद्रों पर किया और सफलतापूर्वक ये सिविल इंडस्ट्रियों को भेजा जा रहा है। इसके अलावा प्लास्टिक को जो कि 40 माइक्रोन से नीचे का प्लास्टिक था कि 2.4 साइज के चिप्स बनाकर हम लोगों ने रोड निर्माण के अंदर इसका काम शुरू किया। आज मध्य प्रदेश में लगभग 8000 किलोमीटर रोड बनाए गए हैं और केंद्र सरकार ने सार्थक की ही अनुशंसा पर जो भी ग्रामीण रोड है वो 10% अब प्लास्टिक रोड से बनाए जाए। इसके लिए इसी वर्ष जो इन्होंने अध्यादेश जारी किया है और सभी प्रदेशों के अंदर आज प्लास्टिक से रोड बनाए जा रहे हैं और कचरा बीनने वालों को जोड़ा जा रहा है। स्वच्छता सर्वेक्षण के अंदर भी उन अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज को विशेष अंक दिए जा रहे हैं जिन्होंने प्लास्टिक से रोड बनाने का काम अपनी अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज के अंदर किया है। इस प्रकार स्वच्छता सर्वेक्षण के अंदर एक प्रतिस्पर्धा होने के कारण कचरा बीनने वालों को भी यूएलबी के साथ जोड़ा जा रहा है और प्लास्टिक से रोड बनाने का काम बहुत तेजी के साथ इन प्रदेशों के अंदर चल रहा है। मध्य प्रदेश के अंदर लगभग 8000 किलोमीटर रोड बने हैं और आने वाले टाइम के अंदर लगभग 1500 किलोमीटर रोड बनाने का और लक्ष्य जो है मध्य प्रदेश शासन ने लिख किया है। यदि आप मध्य प्रदेश के अंदर ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों के अंदर आएंगे जहां आपको हल्के पीले कलर के रोड मिलेंगे तो ये मानिए कि वो प्लास्टिक से ही बने रोड है। इन प्लास्टिक की रोड की खासियत ये है कि बिटुमेन से इनकी लाइफ 3 टाइम ज्यादा होती है और लागत भी लगभग 12% कम आती है। इसके इस पूरे मॉडल को देखने दूसरे राज्यों के और लगभग 13 अन्य देशों के लोग समय समय पर भोपाल इंदौर आए हैं और इस परियोजना का अनुसरण किया है और अपने अपने राज्यों के अंदर, अपने अपने देशों के अंदर इसको लागू किया गया है। एक पूरा सिस्टम है अप्रोच प्लास्टिक वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट भोपाल मॉडल हमने केंद्र सरकार को दिया और वर्ष 2008, 2011 और 2016 में जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट ने जो प्लास्टिक वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट की पॉलिसी लॉन्च की है, उसमें भोपाल मॉडल को मिरर रखा गया और उसी आधार पर आज पूरे देश के अंदर प्लास्टिक मैनेजमेंट का कार्य जो है क्रियान्वित किया जा रहा है। हम लोगों ने 3 फेज के अंदर इस परियोजना को प्रारंभ किया। सर्वप्रथम हम लोगों ने कलेक्शन सेंटर बनाए, फिर वहां के रेक्टिकल्स को अपने साथ जोड़ा, उनके बच्चों के लिए पूरा शैक्षिक स्तर हो, इनके लिए पूरा आइडेंटिटी कार्ड हो, हेल्थ चेकअप हो, ये सारी व्यवस्थाएं की। हेल्थ सेफ्टी गियर इनके लिए हो, साथ ही इनके बच्चे इनके साथ बीनने ना जाए, ये किया। इसके अलावा इनको साइकिल रिक्शा के माध्यम से हम लोगों ने कलेक्शन मैकेनिज्म डेवलप किया। साथ ही इनके स्वयं सहायता समूह बनाकर उनको इंटीग्रेटेड करके इनका सिस्टम अप्रोच करके इनकी इकोनॉमिकल कंडीशन को बेटर किया और डिफरेंट कॉलोनियों के अंदर, मोहल्लों के अंदर इनके समूह बनाकर इनके माध्यम से काम किया। पहले भोपाल और इंदौर के अंदर कचरा बीनने वालों पर लगभग 70% कचरा बीनने वालों पर आपराधिक प्रकरण दर्ज होते थे, क्योंकि जो कचरा बीनने वाला पहले कचरे के ढेर पर जाता था उसको अत्यधिक कचरा मिलता था या प्लास्टिक मिलता था, वो चुन लेता था, लेकिन जो बाद में आता था उसको कम मिलता था और फिर वो दूसरी आपराधिक गतिविधियों में जाता था। अब हम लोगों ने एक सिस्टम अप्रोच बनाकर हर 2 कचरा बीनने वाले सार्थक कर्मियों को 200 से 250 घर अलॉट किए, वहां पर वो जाते हैं, डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन करते हैं और उसमें से अपना काम का कचरा निकालते हैं, बाकी कचरा नगर निगम के ट्रांसफर स्टेशनों पर लाकर जमा करते हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त हम लोगों ने प्लास्टिक के जो कैरी बैग है इनका चलन कम हो, इसके लिए प्लास्टिक के हम लोगों ने कागज के बैग और कॉटन के बैग बनाना शुरू किए। साथ ही जो अमानक स्तर का प्लास्टिक छापामार कार्रवाई के अंदर निकलता है, उससे हम लोगों ने कुशन और इसके उत्पाद बनाए हैं, जिससे कि इनके सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को रोजगार मिला है और आज अमेरिका और वाशिंगटन और न्यूयॉर्क तक ये कुशन जो है भोपाल से गए हैं। इसके अलावा जो इनर मटेरियल निकलता है या जो सीएनडी वेस्ट है उसके साथ इस प्लास्टिक को मिक्स करके हम लोगों ने पेपर ब्लॉक और टाइल बनाने की 2 यूनिटें लगाई हैं, जिससे कि लोगों को रोजगार मिल सके और आत्मनिर्भर भारत की जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री ने की है वो सार्थक हो सके। इसके अलावा प्लास्टिक की एक हम लोगों ने पॉली शीट बनाई है। इस शीट की खासियत ये है ना तो ये पानी में खराब होती, ना ये बर्फ में खराब होती, ना ही इसके अंदर आग लगती है। इससे हम लोगों ने डिफरेंट टाइप के डस्टबिन बनाए हैं, गार्डन चेयर बनाई है और बहुत सारे शो पीस बनाकर 2 ये संयंत्र हम लोगों ने मध्य प्रदेश में लगाया है, जहां पर इस तरह की शीट बनाकर लोगों को रोजगार दिया जा रहा है और अमानक स्तर का जो नॉन रिसाइकल प्लास्टिक है उसकी शीट बनाकर उसका भी रीयूज किया जा रहा है। इसके अलावा जो सैलून और पार्लर से जो बाल निकलते हैं, बालों के बारे में कहा जाता है ये भी बहुत समय तक, लगभग 5 साल तक भी अगर इस जमीन में दबा कर रखा जाए तो डाइल्यूट नहीं होते, तो बालों को भी डाइल्यूट करके हम लोगों ने सार्थक ग्रोथ प्रमोटर बनाया है और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लखनऊ के अंदर इस पूरे भोपाल मॉडल का अध्ययन करके इसको संपूर्ण भारत में लागू करने के लिए अनुशंसा की थी और आज ये जैविक खाद का एक बेहतर विकल्प बन के मध्य प्रदेश में आया है। हमने इसको 3 और राज्यों भी, उत्तर प्रदेश और छत्तीसगढ़ और राजस्थान में भी इसको रिप्लिकेट किया है, जिसमें हम सैलून और पार्लर से निकलने वाले बालों को कचरा बीनने वाले समूहों के माध्यम से इकट्ठा करते हैं और उसकी जैविक खाद बनाकर किसानों को और कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी को सप्लाई करते हैं। इसके अलावा हम लोगों ने मध्य प्रदेश के डिफरेंट यूएलबी के अंदर 20 रुपए से लेकर 8 लाख रुपए तक की कंपोस्ट यूनिटें स्थापित की है, जिसमें सस्ता और सुलभ जैविक खाद बनाया जा सके और आसानी से लोगों को मिल सके। आज भोपाल के अंदर ही अकेले लगभग प्रतिदिन 20 से 25 मैट्रिक टन जैविक खाद घरों के अंदर बनता है और ये जैविक खाद जो उनका उपयोग होता है वो उपयोग करते हैं और बाकी जो है किसानों को या बड़े बड़े गार्डन को बेच देते हैं। हम लोगों ने हैंगिंग कंपोस्टिंग, पिट कंपोस्टिंग, ट्यूबुलर कंपोस्टिंग, ये ड्रम कंपोस्टिंग है, इसके अंदर लिक्विड कंपोस्ट और सॉलिड कंपोस्ट मिलता है। डिफरेंट रिलीजियस पैलेस पे हम लोगों ने ये कंपोस्ट ड्रम्स लगाए हुए हैं, जहां पर निकलने वाले निर्माल्य और जो भी फूल पत्ते निकलते हैं मंदिर मजार में, उनको वहीं पर डिकम्पोज करके खाद बनाई जाती है और उसको भी सेल करके वहां के लोगों को रोजगार मुखी बनाया जा रहा है। ये ट्यूबुलर कंपोस्टर हम लोगों ने विभिन्न गुरुद्वारों के अंदर और मंदिरों के अंदर लगाए हैं, ताकि वहां भी अगर जो भी निर्माल्य निकलता है उसको भी जैविक खाद के अंदर बदलकर लोगों को रोजगार दें और कचरे का ऑन स्पॉट ही डिस्पोजल करके उसका निष्पादन करें। डिफरेंट पेपर्स ने भोपाल मॉडल को समय समय पर सराहा है और 2006 से लेकर 2020 तक की जो एक जर्नी हुई है, आज ये पूरे देश में ही नहीं बल्कि 13 और राज्यों के अंदर इस भोपाल मॉडल को रिप्लिकेट किया है। लास्ट ईयर वर्ल्ड बैंक ने एशिया की सर्वश्रेष्ठ परियोजना इस भोपाल मॉडल को माना है और मेरे द्वारा WHO के अंदर इस पूरी परियोजना का प्रस्तुतिकरण 142 कंट्री के सामने दिया गया, जिसमें 23 कंट्रियों ने इस मॉडल को अपने देशों में लागू करने के लिए सहमति दी और लगभग 12 देशों के लोग भोपाल आकर इस पूरी परियोजना का अध्ययन करके जा चुके हैं और वहां पर इसको रिप्लिकेट कर रहे हैं। अभी जो हमारे यहाँ भोपाल में धार्मिक इज्तिमा होता है, इसमें लगभग 14 लाख लोग आते हैं। इससे भी जो कचरा निकलता है उसको निष्पादन करने में आयोजन समिति को बहुत ज्यादा पैसा लगता था, तो हम लोगों ने वहां पर एक जीरो वेस्ट का कैंपिंग की और लगभग 4 सालों के अंदर हम लोगों ने वहां पर एक अस्थायी कंपोस्ट यूनिट बनाकर, और जो भी कचरा वहां, चाहे वो कॉटन हो, प्लास्टिक हो और डिफरेंट टाइप के प्लास्टिक हो, सबको कलेक्ट करके हम लोगों ने 2019 के अंदर जो यहाँ पर आयोजन हुआ था इज्तिमे का, लगभग 14 लाख उस कार्यक्रम के लोग आए थे, और वहां से निकलने वाले पूरे कचरे का निष्पादन करके हम लोगों ने 4.5 लाख रुपए बचाकर उस आयोजन समिति को दिए। मध्य प्रदेश शासन ने और केंद्र सरकार ने और स्वच्छ भारत मिशन ने इस परियोजना को बहुत सराहा, और जहां भी मेगा गैदरिंग होंगी, अभी कुंभ में भी इस पूरे परियोजना का अनुसरण किया गया था। इस प्रकार कचरे का पूरा साइंटिफिक डिस्पोजल करने के लिए इस भोपाल मॉडल को भी वहां पर रिप्लिकेट किया जा रहा है। इसके अतिरिक्त लगभग 14 राष्ट्रीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार इस भोपाल मॉडल को मिले हैं, और स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के अंदर इसको अडॉप्ट करते हुए, यूएनडीपी के माध्यम से अडॉप्ट करते हुए लगभग 5000 शहरों के अंदर अभी इस मॉडल का रिप्लिकेशन किया जा रहा है। और इस तरह से इस प्लास्टिक का, जो कि नॉन रिसाइकल प्लास्टिक था, नॉन रियूजेबल प्लास्टिक था, उसका पूरा उपयोग हुआ है, उससे कचरा बीनने को रोजगार मिला है, और कचरा बीनने वालों को रोजगार मिलने के साथ साथ जो उनकी बीच में आत्मनिर्भरता जो आई है, जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत की जो परिकल्पना हुई है, वो भी बहुत हद तक इसमें सार्थक हुई है। इस वर्ष लगभग 4.5 लाख कचरा बीनने वाले सार्थक कर्मियों को स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के अंतर्गत सब रोजगार मिला है, और स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के माध्यम से ये अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज से जुड़कर अपना रोजगार चला रहे हैं, और जिनकी इनकम पहले 60-70 रुपए थी, वो इनकम बढ़कर आज लगभग 400 से 500 रुपए हुई है, और ये भी अपने आप को समाज का एक हिस्सा मानकर अब समाज की प्रगति में और पर्यावरण संरक्षण में और स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के अंदर कांधे से कांधा लगाकर शासन को अपना सहयोग दे रहे हैं। नेक्स्ट मूवी। इसके बाद इस पे कई डॉक्यूमेंट्री मूवीज भी बनी है। एक मूवी जो इस पर लास्ट टाइम बनी है, वो मैं आप लोगों के सामने प्रस्तुत करना चाहूंगा। कुछ नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम की वजह से शायद नेट कुछ स्लो चल रहा है, जल्दी लोड हो रहा है।
सर मैं चला दूं?
हाँ आप चला दीजिए सर, हो गया, चालू हो गया।
कचरा कितना स्वच्छ करा, ये वजह से घर से निकलने 19 कागज प्लेट 15 साल से कचरा जितना शुरुआत कराऊं, ये वजह से घर से निकलते पन्नी, कागज, प्लास्टिक, कुत्ते, कांच वगैरह ये सब टोटल सामान हम लोग उठाते हैं। पन्नी जो पड़ी रहती थी जो गंदी, वो उठा के हम लेते थे। व्यापारी लोग क्या बोलते थे, गंदी पन्नी है, आधा वजन काटो, आधा पन्नी लोग क्या बोलते थे, हम लोग सामान कॉलोनी में बाहर निकल जाओ उठाते हैं। फिर हमारा ऐसा नगर निगम जब बना हमारा, तो हमको कोई लोग ने मना नहीं करा, लोग क्या बोलते आओ दिन के ले जाओ, आधा वजन काटो, आधा पन्नी।
ये रेवन्यू मॉडल इसमें तैयार किया गया है, इसमें रैपिडर्स को डिवाइड किया गया है। रैपिडर्स को ये अलग अलग फीचर्स स्थापित किए हैं, और रैपिडर्स का पंजीयन कराया गया है, और उनके माध्यम से रैपिडर से ये पॉलिथीन किस तरह की प्लास्टिक की जाती है, रैपिडर्स की जो इनकम हो रही थी वो जरूरी हुई है।
यूएनडीपी गैस एसडीपी के माध्यम से हम लोगों ने परियोजना प्रारंभ की है। इस परियोजना का मुख्य उद्देश्य कचरा बीनने वालों को रोजगार के अवसर उपलब्ध कराना है, ताकि ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट जो कि रिसाइक्लेबल है, तो ना तो रिसाइकल किया जा सकता और ना ही स्टोर किया जा सकता, इकट्ठा करके सड़क निर्माण और में एज ए अल्टरनेटिव फ्यूल यूज करने के लिए हम कर रहे हैं। जी मैडम बस एंड हो रहा है,
ओके
आधे मिनट का है ये बस।
ठीक, स्क्रीन में आ नहीं रहा सर।
पेपर में
बच्चा पढ़ा मम्मी पूरा ये पन्नी पिन से है ना
स्क्रीन पे नहीं है.
ये रोड में पन्नी डलाती है.
That's when it is not shared.
इम्तियाज जी स्क्रीन पे नहीं आ रहा, सामने नहीं आ रहा.
It is not shared actually.
And there is some noise also, background noise.
Right, right.
आप आ रहा है मैम, देखिएगा.
नहीं सर, अभी तक तो आया नहीं मेरे पास, मेरे एंड में नहीं दिखाई देता.
ओके, जो जी वो
इम्तियाज जी नहीं आ रहा है सामने.
चलिए सर, मैं इसको सभी लोगों के साथ शेयर कर लूंगा, मैंने ऑलरेडी भेजा हुआ है इसको.
यस सर, ठीक है सर.
आपके भेजा हुआ है वो चला देंगे. तो इस तरह सर कचरे से कंचन और कचरे से रोजगार प्राप्त हो और स्वच्छ भारत मिशन और आत्मनिर्भर भारत की परिकल्पना सार्थक हो, इसी को ध्यान में रखते हुए नानाजी देशमुख के प्रेरणा से ये पूरे भारत के अंदर लागू है और 4 और देशों के अंदर इसको लागू किया जा रहा है. इसमें कचरा बीनने वालों को रोजगार देना और कचरे का निष्पादन करना. इसी के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगा. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद इम्तियाज जी. सार्थक संस्था बहुत अच्छा काम कर रही है. Well with the waste, and waste is as a resource you are making it. At the same time, you are empowering the people also. So many ladies are empowered by your work. Really, you are doing very good work, and this is incredible work. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So now we are going to this webinar. Now I invite Professor Ramanathan, ex-Dean, School of Environmental Science, JNU, my guide, my mentor for this valedictory remark. Please, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I am happy to give this valedictory address in the AAJ web webinar series on the weather and climate services, as well as the waste to wealth, and organized by the AAJ and our School of Environmental Science alumni and School of Environmental Science and Disaster Management Center, and by Dheeraj and our all five, Chandar Singh and Manju, all those ex-alumni and students of this SES. It's very nice thing that both important things are addressed in these things. So we all know that the climate is what you expect and weather is what you get. This is what we always get, that one. And the climate services information is very important, because we are going to get the impact of this climate and prepare our people, because this service is help to prepare our people with actual experience and assist in the decision making of our government. So it is very important. This earlier the European countries and the US is having this climate services, but now we are also having this in India.
Mute. Please unmute your.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. Oh, I am happy to be part of this seminar on this, organized by very important thing, the national. So I'll start from the beginning, or you heard something or not earlier?
So we heard something, sir.
Okay, okay.
We only lost.
Okay, okay. So, okay. So the IMD and this Ministry of Earth Science is producing nowadays the high quality data on the temperature, rainfall, wind, soil moisture, and also the ocean circulation patterns. And they are producing a lot of maps and vulnerability analysis and assessments and long-term projections and scenarios, which is very important for all our precautions we take. Especially, he has pointed out, the IMD director, as Director General has pointed out, that the cyclones, basically the cyclones in the Amphan and the Pani, that we are able to reduce and also able to reduce the life loss in these regions. And we are doing it a very good work in this thing because of this. And also monsoon predictions also very good, improved a lot in this, which help the farmers to and also the climate change models they are developed, which help the farmers actually when is the when they can shift the tariff and other crops in this region. Because of the rainfall is shifting, they will also suggest that they can go for this, and what type of crops they should adapt to that adaptations. So these are all very important, because that is what they are linking the meteorological, non-meteorological parameters, and then help the farmers and other things. So this idea and this part is very well dealt by these speakers from the IMD and our own Anand Sharma, our additional director, and also our dean also highlighted about his work on this atmospheric, how we can tackle these atmospheric pollutants in these regions. And it is a very important and nice work, and we are able to predict. I am very happy to know that we are able to predict all these things by 80% of this flood and other things, hydrometeorological impacts and hazards in this region. So that way, I think that this seminar has highlighted all these issues which is pertinent to the present day climate and hazards in. And the next component is that waste to the wealth. That is the waste to the wealth. And then here also that as all the speakers are pointed out that there is no such thing called waste. All of them are resources, but except maybe the nuclear energy, there also we have to look into how to reuse this nuclear energy for this instead of dumping them into that one. So there is no waste as such. That is what you have pointed out. And I think as of the recent studies, the 62 million tons of waste we are producing every year. Out of this, we are only recycling only 22% of this waste. That means we are recycling only 30% of the waste. Remaining are going for the landfill site or thrown into the different fields. That means that this is the very important. This is how to increase this use of these resources in the region. So we are not having land also to dump, because already in Delhi we don't have already the lands are occupied, and we are not having the place to dump us also. If we need the land, where do we go? The land is the one problem. So simultaneously, and also it is affecting the groundwater, surface water, and the atmospheric pollutions. All these things are caused in these things. So that is in this context. So it is very important for us to address this issue. And starting with the speakers, Professor Datta, who has highlighted these things. And how these for the past 10-15 years, what are the types of we are getting, how we can reuse these things, and also that is it's very difficult for the all of us to use this 100%, but at least we should be able to use it like the other speakers. They have talked about Amitya Salaji, and then Miss Tomer, and then the Professor Rana Pratap Singh. They have also pointed out these things, that how we can reuse that, and every one of us has to contribute to that one, because it's we cannot afford to throw these plastic waste and other waste into the system, because reuse them in the most of them. And then, like for example, the pollution is in winter is caused by only stubbles. The stubbles, we know that we are able to make it a mulching, as well as we are using it for the energy producing electricity, but we don't have the organized sector. That means we should, like they are talking about the plastics, that we are having a circular economy, and then they are able to benefit the individual people who are involved in that. So similarly, we should also talk about the farmers, because they cannot afford to spend 10,000 and 20,000 for removing this from the 1 acre of land, and then that's why they are burning it. So that is also that this type of thing, circular economy, should also be addressed to this, so that also is used as a energy and the fertilizers in this system. So I'm very happy that this ARP and the SES and alumni has addressed these issues, and it is very pertinent. And I think our School of Environmental Science, as Dean has pointed out, that we should also look into this. One is the scientific part and the research part, and then the society linked. So how we can able to help the societies in addressing some new technologies, and also simple technologies by which we can recycle the waste. Like we also already started with the NIS program, that is water harvesting and fertilizer preparation from these available our waste materials from the JNU, but that could not happen because of the pandemic situations. But that is one of the initiatives we are also doing in the School of Environmental Science. And it's very nice that all the alumni come together and then we are discussing these things. And I hope that this type of webinars will be conducted and we all will be benefit out of that, because I also learned a lot of things, because application part we don't do that one, because how they are doing it in the field, how the peoples are benefited out of this, how they are able to conserve this and then reducing the waste in the environment. So this is a very eye-opening for me also, and I hope for everybody also. And I think this type of things and this grassroots AAJ and our alumni association should continue to do that, this type of web seminar. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words, encouraging words. Shadab A. Khan, Joint Secretary AAJ, for vote of thanks. Is there? Hello? Shadab? Mr.
Speakers
Shadab?
are participating.
Hello?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, now I can. Yes, Shadab.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. So now I thank all our speakers, participants, and organizers. And it's my privilege having to give a vote of thanks on this occasion on webinar on weather and climate services and on waste to wealth, the way forward for self-reliant India. I, on behalf of AAJ and an entire co-hosts and other supporting organizations and our guests and audience, and let me call this a fraternity, which we have covered two topics here, and I extend our very hearty vote of thanks to all speakers for gracing your important work and sharing with us your findings and opinions today. Given our demography, the biggest challenge is to mitigate weather and climate challenges like incessant and untimely rains, severe droughts, pest attacks, and it should be our endeavor to reduce our carbon footprint and the waste that we are leaving. And the urbanization and commercialization is generating huge amount of waste, which has to be effectively utilized for wealth creation, as shown by our different speakers, and which will reduce the pressure on land, and the landfills will go, and this will lead to our self-reliant India by creating avenues for employment and also entrepreneurship. And I thank once again everyone who have participated, and on behalf of us, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Sarwar. Now at the end, I request everyone to stand up for national anthem.
मैं अपना वीडियो बंद कर दिया किसी का नाम आ गया क्या करते
ये इसके कहाँ से?
मैं ही
ये कहाँ से आ रहा है? ये किसके लिए सारा?
Mute everyone. Please mute everyone.
I think there is a problem. Hello? It's not. Who's managing
There
it?
is some technical
Please
glitch.
see to that.
Biju,
Okay,
Biju,
technical. Okay, fine.
Yeah, अभी play
Biju,
हो रहा है सर. Play कर रहा है सर.
क्या हो गया? What happened? There's some technical glitch here.
जी जी. वो अभी play कर रहा है.
Okay, fine.
Hello.
Hello. Biju, what happened? At the outset, sorry for the interruption.
So I think we will end the session. Yeah, thank you very much for attending this webinar on the important issues. Thank you very much to all panelists and also to the participants. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Manju.
Yes.
Next time, I think audio you should play, not the video one. Only audio of Rashtriya.
Okay, sir. Sure.
That is
Sure,
better.
we'll take care.
I think
We'll
there
take
was,
care.
because of video, it was taking a lot of space.
Yes. Okay. Sure, sir.
Done.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. धीरज कुछ बोले?